that would include him. Also last night, the Green took part in the second round of the NBA draft, and at number 40 overall, they selected St. John's wing Dylan Mitchell. He was an all-defensive Big East player last year as a senior. Another NBA news, Charlotte's reportedly speaking to multiple teams about a deal involving LaMelo Ball. That deal could come together in the next day or two. Lakers have signed Austin Reeves to a max contract of 4 years and $185 million. At the World Cup, the U.S. will wrap up group play today in Los Angeles with a match against Turkey. Christian Pulisic is expected to return for this game, but hasn't been determined yet whether or not he will start. Last night, South Africa advanced with a 1-0 win over South Korea. Mexico beat Czechia 3-0. Scotland now needs a lot of help to advance after a 3-0 loss to Brazil. Morocco beat Haiti 4-2. Switzerland 2, Canada 1, and Bosnia-Herzegovina all but clinched a meeting with the U.S. in the round of 32. They beat Qatar 3-1. And let's hear it for the Red Sox. They have the worst record in the American League after an 8-6 loss in Denver to Colorado yesterday. They're back home to face Cam Schlittler and the Yankees tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Join 98.5 the Sports Hub for the big match this Thursday at the Dubliner, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Anchorman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends it can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Let's go.
R is Coda, Notre Dame. Pasa Sowaki.
Hello, good morning.
Or as the indigenous people say,
Pasa Sowaki.
That is true. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Artie, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. You can download the podcast wherever those are available. We are back in studio from our big trip to the Cromwell, Connecticut yesterday. Very exciting. Hardy was able to get a brief talk to a non-athletic celebrity that we will have for you at 8 o'clock. A true celebrity. I'm not being sarcastic. A A-list celebrity.
A-list.
That he got to talk to, so we'll have that at 8 o'clock. It's brief, but there's stories around it. There's stories about whether or not he, because Wallach and I left right after the broadcast, whether Hardy was able to caddy, which was the dream for him. And John just hit his knee on the table.
You all right there, Wallach?
He's confused by the amount of daylight.
Oh, man, that hurts.
He's been in the Northeast for too long. His body is telling him, "You're lucky you didn't swear, because that's what I did when I hit mine."
When did you hit yours?
Remember in Brighton, the thing fell off and hit my leg?
Oh, you hopped up and started screaming. I remember that.
Yeah. It made quite a gash.
There's an entire file of Zolac hitting his knees and legs on various pieces of equipment in here, of stuff falling off. And, well, if you find it, Ryan, I don't know what it's called. It might be just Zo breaking things, but some of them include him breaking himself when he falls off his chair. He falls out of the chair on a pretty regular basis.
He was leaning back, or he just accidentally moved too far left.
Back here.
Tried to put his feet up.
Wait, how does he fall out of a chair? Okay, so what happened to me, just to put it in perspective, is there's heavy wood panels that are underneath the desk, at least in Brighton there were. I don't know if there are here. So they could remove them and get at computers that are hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one?
Yeah, that's actually specifically, yes. That's I think that's the
loose
one.
that's down at
that
my
one
feet
right there. Yes.
Yeah, and they're like sharp, and they're heavy wood. Yeah. And one fell off and fell, and I was probably like a foot and a half away from it, and it fell, and the sharp edge of it hit my leg, creating a relatively deep cut. And I got up and I started yelling. Maybe it didn't cut me. I don't know. It hurt real bad, and not forever, but it hurt for like a minute. And I started screaming, but I don't know. I've never fallen off the chair. I've always managed to stay on the chair. But Scott does push himself back from the microphone, like he physically takes a leg and pushes himself.
What do you want me to do? Be right up there? I can do it back here. You do it up there.
But why are you back there in the first place?
I'll lean in when I got so good, Wallach doesn't do it at all.
Yeah, there was a day this week, I think it was Monday, where it was just McCone and...
Get in there?
It was just McCone and Zolac, and Zolac was on mic the whole time that I heard it. He had to stay on mic. There was only two of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had to stay on microphone, he had to be up on it.
Get up on this.
All right, 617-779-0985. We'll pick it up.
Solar flares.
Is that what it is? Flares? Yeah.
Oh! I told you, there's a whole file of those.
All right, play it again. I want to hear it again.
All right, 617-779-0985. We'll pick it up.
Solar flares.
Is that what it is? Flares? Yeah.
Oh!
So the whole chair fell down?
He just falls out of his chair, and sometimes the chair goes with him, and sometimes the chair remains upright, but he's on the ground.
That really is fascinating how you fall out of a chair.
Equilibrium is a hell of a thing. Not everybody has it.
Oh, I would contend that you could have vertigo and stay in the chair.
You never know what another person is struggling with.
That's true.
I don't know. I've been in here plenty hungover, and I've never fallen out of a
We
chair.
all lead lives of quiet desperation, don't we?
Oh, very good. Very good, Wallach.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been in here plenty hungover. Never fallen out of the chair. That I've never done.
Well, sorry, Mr. Perfect. You remained upright in a chair for 4 hours.
I know. Which one of us hasn't taken a tumble out of a chair?
Exactly.
I'm just trying to give you. I'm almost defending Scott. Is that I've been in here several times. In my career over, the 20 some odd years I've been in radio, where I've been plenty hungover, but never fallen out of the chair. No. That I've managed to keep going. I've managed, even at my worst, to stay in the chair. I somehow put that together. Carrie, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing this morning?
Hello, Carrie.
Hey, so I got a quick question here for John. I'm sorry about your knee, buddy, with the table there. And I was kind of wondering, what hurts worse, hitting your knee on the table or flying into a window?
All right, Sean, that is a good point.
Yeah, the window you really don't see coming.
But the window is embarrassing, too. So
Yeah.
the pain is kind of masked by the adrenaline of trying to, fly away and act like you meant to do
Yeah,
that.
but the pain in the knee is temporary, Hardy. You smack yourself in a way. That's a lasting type of thing, you know? So I would say window.
I was walking my dog yesterday, not so long, because of the exhaustion for whatever reason followed the broadcasting from that tournament. Don't know why I was tired all day, but I was, because the nap schedule was completely screwed up.
How'd you get home?
I ended up getting a ride home.
Nice.
But I saw a a bird. My dog went under a bush and started, like getting all fascinated with something. And I looked down, and there was like a live bird that was hurt. That had obviously, I assume it was hurt. I don't think it was just sleeping, but I think it was live too. Or the dog was pushing it with its nose or something. It was making it move, but I assumed it was still alive. And there was part of me that said, I wonder if I should help this bird. And then I realized, no, I should not help this bird. This bird, this is natural. This is the natural order of things. How would I possibly help the bird?
Well, if was it a baby bird or was it?
It seemed to be a full-sized bird of some sort.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. Even if it was a baby bird, I'm not quite sure what I would do. You pick it up, and it doesn't like that. So you've picked it up. I mean, I'm not taking it to a vet. That would require, like, taking it home in my hands.
No.
All those great Instagram videos set to music. You bring it home in your cupped hands and you put it in the sink.
I couldn't have brought it home in cupped hands because I had a dog.
Well, you might have to take it to that exotic pet place down in, I think it's West Bridgewater. Yeah.
You talked about this.
Yeah, you might have to take it down there, which is, I mean, at that time of day, probably only about an hour for you to get down there. So, you just can't take it to any old vet.
Yeah, I think there's a point where sometimes the wild animals, they need to, it's just the way things go.
Well, this is a not so great development at my house where my wife is very much into birds lately, which seems like, what's the kindest way to put this? An old lady thing to do.
Yeah.
Where, you start watching your bird feeder a lot, and we have multiple bird feeders. And
multiple?
Yeah.
She's just trying to spice up the marriage.
Right. For Mother's Day, she wanted a plant that attracted hummingbirds to keep that on the back deck.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
All right.
But in the end cap there's a place on our deck where the molding around the cap for the post got cracked, and I haven't replaced it yet. Somehow a bird managed to get in there and build a nest. Okay? So somebody, it wasn't me, went out there and looked at put the cap back on and saw there were eggs in there. This was a month ago, right? Now the eggs have hatched, and the cap blew off once, so I had to fix the cap, but not too tightly, with some duct tape on there, so the babies would have. This is the not so great part. In addition to my wife being very much into looking at birds, again, not the greatest thing. I think just in general. I mean, I'm glad that she has a hobby.
Yeah.
I just wish it were, something a little sexier than that.
Right.
I counted the eggs. There are not that many baby birds in that nest based on the number of eggs. We're short 3. I saw the dog eating something in the backyard below where the nest is.
Oh, man.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
I have not told this to anybody in my house. And also...
Don't. Don't.
And also, I found one of the dead baby birds underneath the deck. And I did not tell anybody.
When's your anniversary?
Not till March.
Oh, well, I mean, you could put formaldehyde in them.
Right.
Yeah.
But the hatching and the growing and the eventual departure of the baby birds, big news in our house. It's been documented, by multiple members of the house. They're very much into it, and none of them know we're -3. I believe in naval aviator terms.
We have 3 down.
What's your count? -3.
Yeah.
But you have to figure that is probably the normal ratio, right?
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah, well,
I agree with you. I would say you're spot on. If it's 70% survival rate or whatever it ends up being, 60.
Well, you read nonfiction, like this is like 3-4 generations ago. I think we've talked about this recently. People would have like 5 kids, and like 2 or 3 of them would just die when they were kids.
Yeah, but there were like a lot of eggs in this nest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that it's this idea of everyone surviving, human, animal, whatever, is kind of a fairly, in the history of mankind, a fairly recent development. You got to accept that some of the birds ain't going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
And that might just be the way that it is.
Right.
And the way it's supposed to be.
I don't know, as she's relatively new to this bird infatuation, I don't know if she's ready for that level of reality and acceptance.
Well, if you're going to position yourself as, someone who's going to devote their free time to birds, the quicker you know the realities of the situation, the quicker you can enhance your study of them.
John, what is the proper term? Is it ornithologist?
Ornithologist.
Ornithologist. Okay. Of course he knew.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's every time he looks in the mirror.
Did I answer too quickly? Maybe I should have waited a second.
You could have played it.
I should have slow played that,
I think you're adding a syllable there, Hardy. Yeah, I think it's just ornithologist.
Could be just ornithologist.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys go to a wooded area or something, does your wife now look for birds?
No.
Okay.
It hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Because people will go to Cold Spring Park, and I actually don't. I actually just applaud them for liking to do something, but I can tell they're taking notes and using binoculars and that they're looking for birds. But the only thing that's sad about it is I think the Cold Spring Park loop, and that's a loop, not cutting through. The loop might be a little less than a mile. So you figure if the loop is less than a mile, then it's less than a half a mile. Each way,
sure.
Like if you cut across,
yeah.
And this is the only place you can go to look for birds. I actually feel kind of bad for them. There's nowhere for them to look for the dang bird.
But you never know what might be living back there, and if they're doing a big year, then they may have to go to this one specific spot to catch the snowy owl. You know what a big year is, don't you, John?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, for bird watchers and bird spotters, this is where you try and document as many different birds as you can in a calendar year.
Okay.
And you start off, there's a Steve Martin and Jack Black movie about it. It's based on a true story about these birders who go out and they're in a race to have the biggest big year.
I see.
So, you might have to, and these people fly all over the place. They go to Alaska for this, big migration, and then they find out, there's a snowy owl in the backyard of this, woman who lives in, Racine, Wisconsin, and people will show up and knock on the door and ask that they can go into the person's backyard because that might be the only one for hundreds of miles.
Well, that sounds like a good twist of fortune if you're the person who owns the house.
Well, it also, if it gets to that point with my wife where she starts, documenting and, is thinking about a big year, then we're going to have some more serious conversations.
Yeah.
Not fun ones.
Some lithium.
You got to stop this.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. For the sake of our marriage.
There
at least a common SSRI.
Yeah, there could be some consultations going on.
Yeah.
Retainers.
Yeah.
Well, you could just go to her primary care physician and just ask for an SSRI and just start from there and get going.
Yeah.
I could refer to someone.
Like a dual call to a doctor's office and then quickly to a lawyer's office.
Sure.
Like I may need some representation here.
Yeah. Because if you got divorced, easy with the amount of time you've been married. Real easy process.
Yeah. 23 years?
Yeah.
You could just, it probably could just be annulled, right?
Right. It's just that, but at least your kids are older, but they don't become. I have to pay alimony until they're out of college.
No,
or 23, whatever comes first.
Which makes sense. I mean,
nah, like I don't begrudge it, and I'm not going to fight it, and it is what it is. I think
easy for me to say. I know.
No, but I don't think that I at least to my knowledge, bitch about alimony and child support. I actually don't complain about it. I don't think.
I've never heard you say anything.
Yeah, like I don't. I really don't. Like it is what it is. Like I really don't complain about any of that stuff. I don't think. Someone might go, well, one time. But I don't think I do. I certainly don't think about it and get pissed when I have to do it every other week. But I do think I actually talked to Stephanie, my ex-wife, about this last week. I was like, because my son is talking to colleges and stuff like that, and Patriot League colleges don't give scholarships, and there's all this stuff. So And he doesn't need to get a scholarship necessarily. That's of course not necessary. But it would certainly be nice, but it's not necessary. But the thing about it is that if they're gone and a 529 or however we pay for college, which has been set up, is set up that's the way we pay for college, and they're not living in one of our homes, I don't really understand. I know why child support is set up like that, right? Because if ex-spouses and parents like are not communicating and one is like doesn't want to give any money away or stuff like that, but if things are working, and there's really, and she has her own money, like in that kind of sense too. Like I'm not complaining about it. I really kind of don't understand how it makes sense that you would keep doing that. In fact, I talked to someone in the building whose kid just the oldest kid just turned 18 and went to college, and the guy was like, I don't have to pay child support anymore. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, he's going to college, but I'm becoming the primary parent. And I went, oh. But I really don't understand that, because if they're gone and the meals and the housing is all part of the college tuition, and they're only home for those, I know they're home a lot, but the long vacations and the summers, it seems like full child support during that whole period is, if nothing else, it just doesn't make sense. Now, it might even be more that I would owe her. I'm not kidding. Like, maybe she's, has all the expenses because they're, for whatever reason, going to her for everything. Mm-hmm. But if that's not the case, which it's never been, I don't really understand why it would be the same.
I can tell you, I did not notice a difference in the bottom line. Once the tuition and housing bills were paid last year, I didn't say, we have so much more money left at the end of this month.
Right.
I wonder why. It's
okay.
Because Katie is in here. It's like, no, it's costing the same to keep her alive out there, even though we've paid extra for her to live out there.
I can explain what I'm saying, though, is that she's not with one of you specifically at that time, though. You still both handle. So the idea of child support is that I have this much time with the children. I need to feed them, and obviously the house and the utilities are part of that too, and that would always be the case. But part of it is I have to feed them. We split in a certain percentage the like activities and stuff like that, like camps or sports and things like that. That stuff split, but it's made with the idea that they're with her. What is it? Thursdays and then every other weekend, but they sleep at her house except for the weekends, except for the summer. Anyway, it's set for when she is the only one who has them.
Yeah.
So if they're away, how do you figure out who pays for what? Now, we'll be able to do it. It's not an issue. But if child support is set up so like there's not an option.
It seems like an imperfect calculation.
Exactly. Like they're no longer, you're not solely responsible for them on that day. So like, what would we do? Would never do this, but what would we do? Like take a credit card bill and circle the day of the charge and then do
right.
And then do child. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. All right. Anyway, there you go. We will talk about everything that happened yesterday. The Red Sox are on fire. The second round of the NBA draft was last night. Your Detroit Pistons are opening themselves up to make major moves, according to Mr. Windhorst. They traded Isaiah Stewart, who I liked because he wanted to fight everyone.
Yes.
But he's gone for 4 number 2 picks, and they don't want them picks. They want that money off the books because they want to make a big splash. Windhorst says they're the talk of the offseason. He said that they're the team of the offseason. You would say the Celtics. I wonder if they would trade for Jaylen Brown.
We Hardy and I talked about this before the show started. I mean, we can get into it.
Because they were going to give Austin Reeves a max contract. That's why I guess the Lakers rushed to sign him.
The Lakers gave him the max contract instead. Yeah. No, if you're the Celtics, would you trade Jaylen Brown to Detroit while not getting a Giannis-like person in return. Then you have to face him 3 times a year for the next 5 or 6 years.
What if you got Duran and or Duran and you got Duran and I don't know. They're not going to give you the kid, the good defensive kid,
Thompson.
They were not going to give you Thompson.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And whatever picks, Detroit's already good, so I don't know whatever first-round picks you can get.
Yeah.
If you're the Celtics and you're going to make a deal like that, it would probably be to a Western Conference team, not an Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, and they could give you Duran, but they couldn't give you.
That's the thing.
They don't really have anything else that they could probably give you because they wouldn't give you. They don't need them, but they wouldn't give you like Robinson because they need someone who can score.
Got to figure out a way to match salary too. So not easy to do with that roster.
All right, we'll be back with what happened last night. Oh.
friends that can be my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Oh, baby. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game, but what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Yes, the Red Sox wrapping up their set.
Get hair.
Thank you. Red Sox wrapping up their set in Colorado. Connor Wong with the offensive fireworks early on.
High drive out to left field. That one way back, and that ball is out of here. Home run. Connor Wong, his first of the year. His first since September of 24 as the DH here today. He jacks one out of here to left field. 2 more for the Red Sox, and they lead it 3-0.
3D chess.
Coming up on 2 years
chess.
since he went yard.
Yeah.
All right.
Red Sox played all 3 catchers yesterday. It's a banner day for everybody.
That's at least the second time this year.
That's the more stunning thing. That's not the first time they've done this.
Yeah.
You want to? Yeah, your DH hasn't hit a home run in over 2 years, or just under 2 years. So hey, look, you're not a designated ding-a hitter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to slap it around.
That's right.
So bad.
Will Abreu, who was so good offensively 2 days ago, defensively some issues.
Sucked into right field. Abreu will close.
What?
It's off the glove.
What?
Socked. That's another word for hitting the ball hard if you sock it.
Yeah.
Hitting your balls hard?
Sucked into right field. Abreu
What'd you do wrong? Probably something bad. Okay.
Do you feel shame too?
Well, you will now that you've got your balls racked.
Sucked into right field. Abreu will close. Oh, it's off the glove. Here comes a run in. That really took off. He throws that into second to get a force out. But they're on the board again. That makes it 3-2. Will Abreu with a drop in right field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And defense is always good. I'm looking. They had 2 errors yesterday, one of which I assume you're going to get to later.
I will get to, yes.
I'm looking at the lineup here. You could make an argument that 5 of the 9 guys in the lineup yesterday might not be in the majors next season.
Not Eaton.
Yep. Eaton, Siegler, Monasterio, Wong, Narvaez. All 5 of them. You can make the argument that none of them will be playing for a Major League Baseball team.
Are you positive Durban will be playing in the major leagues the full season next year?
Durban has found him. There's actually a reason why this pathetic team hit him 5th yesterday, because he's the only guy who's been hitting for the last 3 weeks.
I understand that he's had. I do actually know that because I do know he's hitting home runs at a just astronomical pace
for him, a historic clip.
Because
yes,
he had none for a long time. But
if you take a look at Durban's year last year with Milwaukee,
I know
the fact that he's a good fielder. While I'm building up to this, I think he will be on a major league roster next season and for a full year.
Okay,
I
so
do.
think you're okay because I don't know if that's like a minus 1,000 type situation.
No, I'm not saying it's a lock, but I think that it is. I think he will be. Yes.
Yeah.
All of this assumes health, and after yesterday, not so.
Well, health would take it off the table
because
he's not healthy.
Hurt his finger.
Look at the left wrist. It's late. Just jams it right into that bag.
You know how he did it?
How the wrist turns over. Hopefully everything is okay there. But
you know how he did it? Diving into first base.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision.
Because everyone should dive into first base.
Diving into first base, trying to beat out a hit?
Yes.
No.
That's supposedly not the best way to get there the fastest.
No, it's much faster if you run through the bag.
That's what they say. Instead of losing your speed and just diving where you actually slow down, you're supposed to just run it out and, you get to your peak speed right before you hit the bag, I believe.
Apparently, he dislocated the pinky finger. And apparently it was pretty gruesome in the dugout.
You know what the problem is you can't when you're sliding into first trying to beat out a hit, you don't have your sliding glove on.
Oh, that's right. You don't have the oven mitt. Good call.
Yeah. And they also say when you're sliding into first and you're feeling something burst, diarrhea. Diarrhea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that why it was gruesome?
When you're sliding into third and you feel the juicy turd, Diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
Diarrhea. When you're sliding into home and your pants are full of foam, diarrhea.
That's mighty impressive what you just did there.
Diarrhea.
Yeah.
Well, the Red Sox had a lead in this one, 6-3 going into the sixth inning, but it's just some singles and just getting some guys on base, and then they had a chance to get out of the seventh.
Little ground ball, and Marcelo Meyer muffed it. Everybody's going to be safe. I think should have ended on that play, routine play.
Yep.
So the inning will continue on the error.
Runner on first, 2 outs. I could have rolled the ball out there faster than it got to Meyer, and he couldn't make the play. And by the way, that wasn't his first bonehead move of the game. I don't know if you guys saw this. Runners on first and third, 2 outs in the third inning. Ground ball to second base. I think Monasterio was playing second base. Threw it to Meyer, who gunned it to first for a double play. The problem was there was 2 outs.
Oh.
And so Ranger Suarez, I mean, it's not often you see a John Lackey-like move on the mound where he's demonstrative towards his fielder. Suarez turns around and goes, "What the hell is your problem? There were 2 outs. Why would you gun it to first base for a double play?" So Meyer had himself a day yesterday.
Practice.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's what it was.
What if Contreras wasn't looking?
That's a good point. What if he had turned his back and headed towards the dugout?
Yeah, and he takes
right between the shoulder blades.
You figure Meyer throws 90-something with the step.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, Marcelo had himself a rough afternoon.
Well, that would extend the inning. The Rockies tie it at 6, and the go-ahead moment in the 8th.
Showing a bunt, drops it down along the line. That's a fair ball. Plays back to first as the run scores, and Colorado takes the lead on a bunt.
There you go. Sack bunt from Tyler. Tyler Freeman was out on the sack bunt. Yes.
Oh, you left out the 7th inning where after Meyer's error, they scored 3 runs with 2 outs to tie the game.
Yeah, I said they would extend the inning and score a few more.
Yes.
Look,
this team is great in all sorts of ways. As I said, the only reason to watch this team is
happened
to
in the last
screw up next.
Yeah, in the 7th and 8th, John. We can't get to it all.
I understand.
You got to focus in on the errors, and ultimately the Rockies win the rubber match of that set, 8-6.
You can't go into Colorado and expect to take the series.
They only have the worst record in Major League Baseball, Colorado. There's no way you can expect the Red Sox to take 2 or 3. They should have swept this series.
Aren't they good at home, though? No. 18-22 now at home.
Well, no, but going into the season, everyone knew Colorado would be the worst team, and now they're the worst team, and you went in and you lost 2 or 3.
Yeah. Not for long, Fred. Colorado.
So it's not like the Mets, right, where everyone thought the Mets would be better, but their pitching sucks and what have you. The Colorado was, everyone knew, real bad.
Colorado 32-49. Red Sox now 32-46.
Yeah.
So the race is on for that overall number 1 pick in the draft next year.
Well, Colorado gets more rest days, so don't. By the way, someone's getting Scooble, and I just am wondering I wonder if it would be like Toronto, which. It'd be funny at the trade deadline if the Red Sox stood pat and then Toronto got Scooble, and then you're like, so the Yankees, Tampa, and Toronto are all there, and you're like, okay, good.
Yeah.
This is so now there's just more of a way for you to not do well. So the Red Sox now are finally in last. In the American League. They're tied for last. But the good news is only 6 out of the wild card, so there is something to play for. Now you would just have to leapfrog every team.
Well,
now, 3 teams are only 5 games ahead of them without being in the playoffs as of now. And then there's a couple teams that are 4 games ahead of them that are not in the playoffs now.
Right.
But there's a lot of wiggle room.
It gets better because they get to face tonight the kid that will probably start for the American League in the All-Star game, Cam Schlittler, as the Yankees come to town to start a 4-game
but you're
series.
sending early out there. You got a chance.
Connolly early. Actually, it's a matchup of the last game of the season last year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Was it?
Yes. Early started that last game against Schlittler.
I thought it was Bayo.
I thought it was early.
Wasn't it a 2-game?
It was. It was like a best of 3.
I think Bayo went in the second.
I think you're just lost because you were sending the kid from the Yankees all those negative tweets because he's from around here.
Maybe that's what.
Go and look at that, John.
I will. Don't you worry. I will.
If I get a chance at a second correction of John on a baseball or basketball related matter in the same week, I'm going to hang it up and say, you know what? I've done my job.
Let's see. I know Early started. No, I have it right. Schlittler beat Early in the last game 4-0.
If you say so.
I do. Yep.
All right. So, yes, first of 4 tonight at Fenway Park against the Yankees.
All right. Well, it's the greatest rivalry in sport. So look out. Should be a real headbanger. I would look at ticket prices, but I assume that they're well into the thousands for any seat in the house.
Yeah.
It's like a real World Cup vibe to it.
I have to look, but I assume this is the Sunday night game to end all Sunday night games this week.
Is it a Sunday night game?
I got to check.
Oh, I don't think they put that on Sunday night. It's the game of the week tonight on whatever service. It's like whatever network. It's the game of the week tonight. It's
Sunday night, 7:30.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
NBC's got it.
All right, I'm looking at. Give me one moment to look at the MLB schedule. For
Sonny
Sunday.
Gray against Carlos Rodon. Sunday night.
Sonny Gray's been good. Let me see here. If I would have put anything else on, besides the worst team in the American League against them,
They're going to be the worst team in Major League Baseball this year.
Cubs Brewers. I'd put on.
I'd put on anything other than that. Just throw a dart.
Bayo went in the second game.
Dodgers Padres. I'd put on.
Just one off.
There's 2 games that are decidedly better. It's not like as crazy as you would think. I mean, you could say Mariners Guardians, but that's it's not crazy. Let's be realistic though. Cubs Brewers, divisional battle. A team that should have been better than it is, and a team that's looking better than last year in the Brewers. They're a little clutch this year. And then Dodgers, Padres, stars everywhere you look. But no, Yankees, Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We can pretend that no matter what the year is, it's a real bitter rivalry. God. Very one-sided rivalry.
No Aaron Judge. It's just star power everywhere.
It's just there's no one on the Red Sox that I don't understand. I guess that it's just a rule that you have to have it.
There was no other way to drive this point home than putting that game on Sunday night. It's got to be just a rule.
All right. Wow, Sonny Gray's having a really good year. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. Make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else is going on?
World Cup action last night. Brazil taking on Scotland. Unfortunate moment for Scotland early on in the match.
Will McKenna got himself in trouble there. Big trouble. And Vinicius takes advantage. And Brazil are ahead. And it's a terrible, terrible error from the Scots.
That's not nice.
No, it really was. It was bad. It was bad.
I don't know if you have to say it that way.
I know, but that's, I mean, look, Scotland was not going to beat Brazil, but you didn't have to give them that first goal in the 7th minute of the match. And
You don't know if they would have beaten them.
Brazil would go on to win that one 3-0. Also, Morocco in the huge scoring game bested Haiti 4-2. So they continue on. Abdo, of course, very happy about that. But what I really wanted to get to here, Fred, was Scott Zolac, who was listening earlier when we mentioned the fact that he fell out of his chair several times over the years.
Oh! Did he fart?
What was that?
Play that again.
Oh!
No, I think that's McCone or Beetle going...
Oh, okay.
Like, trying not to laugh because it appears that he was truly injured.
I like Fred's version better where he farts when he lands.
Well, there's
I
like that Parks and Recreation episode where the guy has the heart attack and he just sits there farting. You haven't seen that scene? It's actually like I was crying laughing the first time I saw it. They surprise him and they go, ah, and he falls down clutching his heart, just going.
We mentioned the panels coming off underneath the console here and hurting the hosts.
And so you get everybody locked in there for that first week. So that's normal. I didn't think they were going to beat Arizona. I don't think you guys thought.
So just whacked his knee on the table.
That was a Zoe injury.
Bert, two things. His vibration of his talking made everything in the studio fall. It's like when Jim Gillette would sing falsetto and break glass.
Yes.
From Nitro, of course. You get the reference. And then, second of all, he just talked right through it, too.
Well, yeah, he had something important to say.
Yeah.
But Zoe said, how about when I got electrocuted? He texted me that about 40 minutes ago. We have found the clip.
Tampa Bay will be on their way if they get a win tonight and go up 3-1 over your Boston Bruins at the Garden. We're going to be talking to Billy Jaffe about that coming up next.
How did he get electrocuted?
Grabbed. Well, he's always been leffing around with the mic and, grabbing it.
Right.
Resting on it. And he must have pulled something loose and touched a live wire. And
coming up next.
Or is it possible it's just a shock from like the rug or something like that?
It's so good.
Tampa Bay will be on their way if they get a win tonight and go up 3-1 over your Boston Bruins at the Garden. We're going to be talking to Billy Jaffe about that coming up next.
And then
He really doesn't like Jaffe. Maybe he saw the Morning Brew logo.
Ryan has found the file. They're endless.
Can you tell Brady hit the bricks, please?
No.
Oh.
I think that's me who says no.
Can you tell Brady hit the bricks, please?
No.
Oh.
That was a good one. That one smarted.
Oh!
Up next.
How do you mentioned he's fiddle effing around with the mic. I'm still not positive how he electrocuted himself.
Electricity in here. What do you think it runs on gas?
Yeah, but a lot of stuff runs on electricity. You're not getting shocked by it.
Walter, we're
Shock
sitting
you?
here.
You want a
We're sitting here perfectly normal. Nothing has happened to us.
Like, I'm pretty confident I could screw around with this and not get
You
electrocuted.
screw around with this. Over here. Look.
You mean your penis?
It's out. Look at it.
It's out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I can't see it from here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you must be far away.
Yeah.
You have very bad vision.
I got it. I'll come over there.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, Scott cleaned up the ball stuff pretty early. Early in his
That's
run.
right. It was first 18 months. It was the Wild Wild West for a while there. It's true.
Yeah, he has statute of limitations.
Yeah.
has run out on all the balls. Anything that anyone could complain about with the ball stuff.
Yeah, he started keeping his pants, thankfully for him, long before the Me Too movement. And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
The station's been around for a while. Yeah, this pre-Me Too movement.
Yeah.
So yeah, see, but that is the I've been hit with the reason all this started is Wallach bumped his knee, and then I've been hit, as I said, by the paneling here. You had to have been hit by the paneling at one point, no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's just something that happens, and don't worry, I'll sue the next time.
Are there
really gonna
5
let him
separate
have it.
clips, though, of either one of
No,
us?
no, I'm
Can you
saying
tell Brady hit the bricks, please? No.
the electrocution is what's the most fascinating to me, because wouldn't there have to be like water or a conductor, like something conducting the electricity?
Tampa Bay will be on their way if they get a win tonight and go up 3-1 over your Boston Bruins at the
Right.
Garden. We're going to be talking to Billy Jaffe about that coming up next.
It's like Mr. Magoo walking into sinkholes.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, walking off cliffs, blowing himself up. Saw the Cape and got this big thing of Acme TNT, and next thing I knew, my hair was standing up and my face was full of soot. All right, well,
Up next.
you sure you didn't fart?
No,
I know you edited it there, but I'm like, you sure you didn't fart?
I can't remember which one.
Don't
I
worry
think
about
it's
it. It's not really.
Oh.
Oh, I think he farted. That might have been poo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great that he electrocuted himself. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott, for alerting us to that. That's great that you electrocuted yourself. That's funny. All right. We will be back. It's been about a month since we've done a list. Eddie, I apologize, Eddie Trunk, but we will do one. We will have that for you in just a moment. Oh!
Cup group play tonight in Los Angeles with a match against Turkey. Christian Pulisic is expected to play. Last night, South Africa advanced with a 1-0 win over South Korea. Mexico beat Czechia 3-0. Scotland lost to Brazil 3-0. Morocco beat Haiti 4-2. Switzerland 2. Canada 1. And Bosnia-Herzegovina all but clinched a meeting with the U.S. in the round of 32 by beating Qatar last night 3-1. Red Sox kicked away a 6-3 seventh-inning lead. They lost in Denver to Colorado 8-6. They'll be back home to face Cam Schlittler and the Yankees tonight. And Detroit defensive back Terrion Arnold arrested yesterday in connection with a robbery and kidnapping case from back in February. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Lobster Lovers Weekend at the 99. Order a colossal or hot buttered lobster roll and get a free 3-course meal upgrade this weekend. Only you gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub. Touch your stuff.
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? It's unbelievable.
Touch your heart. Let's keep talking about.
Like you, Fred, I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
I was very tired. I was telling Hardy I got to sleep around 9:30 last night. I was very tired.
Well, you went to see a friend.
Yep.
So
I
you
got
had extra stuff to do.
I got home around 3:30, I think, and my wife and son were like pulling out of the driveway as I was coming in, and my daughter had just left too. So I said, all right, get all this stuff out of the car and do this. And I went in, I sat down on the couch, and then magically 45 minutes later, I woke up. So, I had something else happen driving back yesterday, Fred. This has never happened to me before. Got down to the 495, 95 interchange there, and I went to slow down, and I took my foot off the accelerator and went to hinge my foot at the ankle to press the brake, and my foot wouldn't move. My foot had kind of like, my ankle hadn't like really fallen asleep a little bit, but it kind of like locked in place.
Oh boy!
And I thought, oh no, the car isn't slowing down. I thought I was pressing on the brake, but I wasn't because my ankle wouldn't hinge.
Yeah,
I had to reach over with my left foot and hit the brake, which, by the way, not the same sensitivity with the left foot.
Oh, you jammed like pow. You almost went through the windshield.
I locked him up a little bit. I said, oh, that's concerning.
How long did it take for your foot to get back to normal?
By the time I was a couple miles up 95, I felt like it was safe again to use the right foot on the brake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like the cat who ate the canary, and I hope that the company doesn't come after me, but I went back to the hotel. I had to go to my room to get my stuff, and I got a Diet Coke in one of those Nutella things that you dip the sticks in.
Yeah.
And charge it to the room.
Nice.
So, shh.
Okay.
Don't tell no one.
I've never had one of those Nutella things. I don't like it.
Oh, it's a big Zoe treat.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had to take Zoe somewhere yesterday at 1:30, so
that's great.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
That's awesome.
No one else could do it. All right, what are we doing here? We got a dang list.
We got a list. We got another list.
We got another list. A list you can't resist. 'Cause we got lists and lists and lists. List.
Been too long.
Fred, you and I were both in the biz in 2006, and that biz being the rock radio business. I don't know, Wallach, where were you over at the what was that service?
I had just gotten my AARP card. 2006.
Yeah,
it's not funny when you get in front of it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. In 2006, I was in sports radio at the other place.
All right, do you have an EEI?
Yes.
At
EEI.
I appreciate you not giving the call letters.
We're all aware that it exists.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's free publicity for them. So did you have an AARP card?
One was sent to me. I didn't apply for it. But when you turn, what is it, 50?
50. You've been getting them in the mail.
50. I was sent
I
one.
thought they were like letting me know that eventually I would get the AARP.
No, I think you're eligible at 50.
I think they send you one, but in order to activate it, you have to like send them some money. Or
Right. I have not activated mine.
Oh, so I could get an AARP card if I wanted one?
Sure, I think so, yeah.
Like 10% off your coffees at McDonald's and stuff. It's good stuff, man.
Oh, I thought I was still like 4 years away. I thought you had to be like 55 or something to get the AARP card. Oh.
I think starting at 50, you can start reaping the benefits.
If I'm AARP, I'm rethinking that. Because if it's any... people living to be like in their 90s now, Clive Davis and things.
Yeah.
I mean...
it doesn't make sense.
Maybe you bump that age up a little bit.
Yeah.
65, 70, something like that.
Well, what's the retirement age now is like 74. Like you can't get Social Security until at full Social Security until you're like in your late 60s. Not like it will exist. Even when I get into that age bracket, it's not going to exist. All right, go ahead. What's going on?
So what we have here are 40 songs that defined rock radio in 2006. Now, this was an odd time, and I could say that pretty much starting as early as 1996, post-grunge, throwing everything up against the wall, especially at alternative radio. So you would have everything from... Meredith Brooks to Cherry Poppin' Daddies on the airways. They were trying swing. They were trying folk music, Lilith Fair around that time. But the last great movement in rock and roll was grunge. I mean, you can make a case for nu metal and rap rock, but it didn't really kind of take over the way grunge did. So by 2006, what was on the airwaves? What was big? It is your job, Fred, to try and come up with some of the bands and some of the songs that made it onto this list of the 40 songs that defined rock radio in 2006.
Okay, just very quickly with the grunge thing. I worked at 99X in Atlanta, which patted itself on the back a lot. And anyone that wasn't one of the people that like actively just made the decision to start that station will tell you the same thing. People that even worked there at the time, I did not. But they started... If there were alternative rock stations like K-Rock and like 91X in San Diego, but they played, if you listen to what they played in like the early 80s, it's like British Spandau Ballet kind of, and like Tainted Love and stuff like that, like that kind of music.
Really?
Yeah. Like that was like those read Bret Easton Ellis or something, like that's like the stuff. Like, but these stations all pat themselves on the back for alternative radio was essentially created with the grunge movement. So when 99X came on the air, Nevermind was out, Pearl Jam 10 was out, Soundgarden had already had like platinum albums. Congratulations, guys. Like, I mean, you really knocked the format out of the park. And being in Atlanta where REM was based down the street, like, oh, wow, you could play them too. Like, they were having a little bit of success at the time as well. It's just they were like 5 of the top 10 albums when
propping
you flipped.
themselves up for doing something where it's like it was already done.
Yeah, in the one guy you broke was Sean Mullins. So congratulations. Oh, and Silverchair, I think they take credit for. Maybe. But Silverchair and Sean Mullins. WFNX like broke 7 billion bands.
I'm in a Silverchair documentary, like this hour-long documentary that aired in Australia. And you see me interviewing and talking with Daniel Johns when they came by the radio station in Las Vegas. So I'm pretty much famous in Australia.
Were you ever on a Weather Channel fun documentary with the lesser cast of Reno 911 where you riff on the weather?
No.
It was funny stuff. Really funny. And they played it for like 20 years.
Oh, great.
Just me riffing on the weather. Yeah. Being hysterical. Doing anything anyone asked me. Go ahead.
Let's go alphabetically here. There's a band that had 2 songs.
Well, Red Hot Chili Peppers are going to have 75 songs on here.
That is correct. And they actually have 3 songs on the list. Do you have any idea what they were?
Was I already addicted to the shindig at this point? Was I Can't Stop It?
I think...
or is this Dave Navarro era?
This is post Can't Stop, because I remember Can't Stop was the first song that I played on WB.
Californication?
Nope. Can't Stop was the first song I played on WBCN in January of 2005.
Oh.
So this is post Can't Stop.
So you were already addicted to this. Is Roller Coaster of Love?
No. Oh. From Beavis and Butthead. I remember that.
Ohio Players cover.
Yeah. That's Navarro. That's like the load era Metallica. The best of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. What the hell did they come out after?
Well,
after that?
here's a big hint. It's one of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song that prominently mentions the state of California.
Okay.
So that narrows it down.
Now, do they mention Burbank specifically or Long Beach at any point?
Song accused of being a ripoff of a Tom Petty song.
Oh, doon, 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 doon. Oh, yeah, I know the song. God, I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Doon, doon.
Snow, parentheses, hey-oh.
I got your hey-oh.
And Tell Me Baby, which I contend are all the same song.
Yeah, I don't even know what Tell Me Baby is. I probably do.
Tell me, baby, what's your story? All right. But
all good stuff.
The other band with 2 songs on the list here is a band that is best known for another song, co-opted by Robbie Roadsteamer. But they had 2 songs, including a cover of a Genesis song that were on the top songs of 2006.
All right, so it's not The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics because
no,
that is Mike and the Mechanics. A lot of confusion over that.
You just said it.
Confusion.
Yes.
Is it Incubus?
Oh, Fred.
This is Land of Confusion.
Yes, it is.
But I have no idea what band covered this. I was in Atlanta for half of 2006, and then I was at BCN trying to figure things out. We played songs. Is this Disturbed? Okay, I didn't know they did this, but then Down with the Sickness would be the other song. Correct.
Down with the Sickness was the one that had come out before this, and so they had already established themselves. So it was okay for them to branch out, do a cover, and have another song called Just Stop, which I do not remember.
They put in. I've seen videos mocking Disturbed, but they were still playing to big crowds apparently.
Yeah.
And the singer, who's very upset at his mom.
Yes.
He says, "Stop hitting him! Stop hitting me already, lady." He gets in an electric chair.
And I believe once again to bring up Robbie Roadsteamer, the first contestant in the game we used to play called Jacked or Fat, where you had to determine whether or not a celebrity was jacked or fat. David Draymond, go.
Okay, because he almost had an Iron Sheik pot belly with muscles.
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of those like fire hydrant guys.
Yes.
Probably could lift a lot of weight. Probably could lift a lot of weight. But anyway, he puts himself in this electric chair, and it's gruesome.
Yes. It's very, very scary.
It's super scary. If you're in the crowd, I don't know how you just don't start laughing. Like when I met Marilyn Manson, and
up next,
I had to go to court that day for a minor offense I had. And I walked into, they took me into a room backstage at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, and Marilyn Manson was sitting there engulfed in candle flame.
Oh.
And he's like, "Oh, you're wearing a suit." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go to court." And he goes, "Ah." and I was just like, and then you see him up close, and he's just this dork. And I love, the Sense are my favorite band. Their singer's a massive dork, he'll tell you. But, I mean, a dork masking as an evil witch of some sort was not overwhelmingly frightening. No. And then every time I saw him on stage after that, I couldn't take it seriously. I would actually find it legitimately funny. Like, he did this thing was kind of cool. Did you see it, Hardy? Where he was Marilyn Manson on stage, and he's like preaching behind this pulpit, and then his like legs stick out and he goes into the air. It's almost like kind of cool. But like he's on like this propelling thing that like sticks him in the air.
I've never seen it.
But even after I had met him and I saw it, it's like this nerd going like ah. Because the easiest thing to pretend to be is like cartoonishly evil.
Right.
Like that's like like it's hard to be like Mob Deep and like talk about like actually killing someone.
Right,
like,
but you can just go so over the top with your cartoon evilness that's
like
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The worst song from Nickelback. Now, this is tough, but this was...
How You Remind Me?
No, that's a good song. That's a legitimately good song.
Uh...
I mean, it's not what was on Joey's head. It is the one that you could argue was the undoing of the rock radio format.
Yeah, Nickelback was definitely a part of that.
It's so bad.
Yeah, but I don't like Nickelback. I mean, it's I don't like making fun of him anymore because it's just such a thing.
Roll this. One more in here that was kind of like an anti-love letter to another lead singer of an alternative band at the time. This singer said, "Look, we've been together, but you're a mess right now, and I can't deal with you. Instead, do what?"
Is it a female?
It is a female, and it was an open letter to the lead singer of Seether.
It was Evanescence's.
Call me when you're sober.
Oh, I thought it was Bring Me Back. I can't get up. I want you to get up.
Call me when you're sober. Don't call me when you're drunk.
Hey, I know you're in Seether and you're living that lifestyle, and I know you're our modern day Dylan, but I don't need you, Mr. Miles Davis.
You want to hear an ultimate douchey move? My a guy I knew back in Vegas, a drummer named Nick Oshiro, who played like in a local band there, but then he got a gig playing for, I think, Static X first, and he left Static X. Then he picked up with Seether. He had to leave the tour at some point when they had a break. He had to go home and have wrist surgery. Well, Nick was sober at the time, and the guys in both Static X and Seether were just, completely out there, drinking and doing everything else, which, okay, you're in a band, that's what you want to do. But they didn't like Nick being the sober one. So I think that's why he left Static X. And when, what's their names?
Seether?
Seether decided they wanted him gone too. While he was home having wrist surgery, they sent his drums back to him packed inside of garbage cans. Ooh, the symbolism.
Alpha move.
Oh.
And then the Slipknot said, "We'll take those garbage cans. We'll use them as drums."
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll make $1 billion.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end of alternative radio, 2006.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
when
you
it
go.
all started falling apart. All right, we'll be back. Jim McBride will join us. Don Sweeney talked yesterday before the NHL draft starts tomorrow. He talked about where we're going with the Boston Bruins. We'll have him on in just a moment. drafting again. They're not shipping off all their picks, so they have that going for themselves. And Jim McBride was there as Don Sweeney talked yesterday. He writes about the Bruins for the Globe. And he wrote an article about the success Don Sweeney's had drafting in the first round, which I found interesting. Jim, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, gents. How are we today?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, we were at the Travelers yesterday, so, it's a very anticlimactic day today after being at the Pro.
I said hi to my friend Mike Whitmer down there.
Oh, yeah. We were all day.
Great guy.
Hanging with Michael all day. It was great.
My former partner on the Patriots beat.
He brought me soda. So that's all I can't ask for more. He gave us a ride to our car. It was fantastic. All right. So, how, in your opinion, has Don Sweeney done? What is your confidence level with him when it comes to the draft?
Yeah, it's been a rough ride, right? On the first round, I think he's hit on some later picks, but it's tough. And doing that story and talking to a lot of people, especially at the scouting combine a couple weeks ago, it's amazing how they all point to how much of a crapshoot it is in that first round, because you're drafting, oftentimes 17-year-old kids, and it's so hard to project where they're going to be in 3 to 5 years, because the draft is so much different than say the NFL draft, where all first rounders are supposed to make an impact almost right away. But there's a lot more runway in the NHL. So unless you're drafting in the top 3, it's very rare for a guy to make an impact right away. So I think the last 2 picks, first round picks, Hagens and Letourneau, seem like they could, be impact players at the NHL level. But it was we got a brief cup of coffee for Hagens last year, but he looked like he belonged, right? So I think the last 2, he has a chance to kind of turn around the reputation of not being a great, drafting team in the first round.
Okay. He talked about Pavel Zacha yesterday. What did you get out of that, and what's the future, in your opinion, look like for that?
Yeah, I think, as Don said yesterday, they'd love to re-sign Zacha because he's been, he's coming off a very productive season. He can play multiple positions. He can play up and down the lineup. They need centers. So, like, if you take Pavel Zacha away, then your biggest need, which is a number 1 center, now becomes an even bigger need. Now you need a number 1 and a number 2. So while I think teams call on him because of his value, I think it's Don's preference to sign him to a long-term contract. And it's probably going to be somewhere in the Alex Tuck range yesterday, where, 10 years or 8 years, 10.5 million, something like that. Like, the salaries are just jumping through the roof.
Yeah, the salary cap's going up, so I guess $10
million a year for Zacha, really?
Well, this is what it is. I mean, if you want a number 2 center, that's what it's going to cost you, because
he was more productive than Alex Tuck last year, and that's what he got. And
man,
but agents, of course, are going to swing for the fences because the salary cap is up, and right now they're kind of winning that game because teams are paying those prices.
Okay, so he's been pretty candid about his signing of Elias Lindholm. What do you get out of what he's been talking about in terms of that?
Yeah, he mentioned how, Lindholm got hurt in his first training camp, right? I think it was the first practice of his first training camp, hurt his back, and he's never really been the player that they signed, right? Or that they'd hoped they signed. The production hasn't been there, and I think, to Elias's credit, he's fought through that back injury for 2 seasons. He hasn't missed a ton of time, but he's clearly not the player he was in Calgary. He's shown signs of it. I think, last year when he tweaked the back again on that bus ride back from New York, maybe he could have, taken time off and missed the Olympics, but that's something that, doesn't come along very often for an NHL player, right? So I think he pushed through that, and it clearly hampered him even for the rest of the season. So I know he's trying some new things this summer to rehab the back and to try to get it stronger. So we'll see. It's kind of a pivotal season for him because they have so much money wrapped up in him, and the production hasn't been there. He certainly hasn't played like a number 1 center, since he's been signed with the Bruins.
And they're saying openly, sorry, John, just as a follow-up, when they're saying openly they need a number 1 center, and they're saying they want to re-sign Zacha, and if they give him the contract that you're talking about $10 million a year, that makes Lindholm their number 3 center, And he's
7.75.
But regardless, I do think it's interesting, and I'll give him credit that Sweeney's just like, like I whiffed, kind of.
This is the level we're probably going to get out of him moving forward.
He's like basically admitting I overpaid for him, and and I'm dealing with that reality. That's the impression I get when he talks about needing a number one center, wanting to re-sign Zaka. He's kind of taking the hit for giving Lindholm that contract.
Yeah, I think that's the feeling he has, and it's reality because, he hasn't played like a number one center, and unless his back is not bothering him at all, and he comes back and can regain that form of a couple of years ago, then number three center is probably where he's slotted, and it's a very expensive number three center.
What do you think the urgency is for this organization to get better? I mean, I've been watching what Buffalo's been doing for the last couple 3 days. I'm not entirely sure I understand the direction, but other teams in their division are retooling. Tampa Bay is always a monster. Do you think there's urgency to this summer for Don Sweeney?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he said yesterday that they'd love to get in on this, this trade market. And obviously the two big fish that are left out there are Larkin, which would fill your number one center role, and Jason Robertson, who's, kind of in contract limbo with the Stars. So, I think those are the two guys that are left that can make the big splash. But yeah, you look at the teams around, and you look at the Panthers. Even the Maple Leafs have the number one pick. I mean, teams are getting better. Teams that didn't make the playoffs last year are going to be on the cusp. And you made the playoffs last year, and you haven't really improved the roster, especially in the areas that you've mentioned. Speed and skill. They still need a right shot defenseman. So unless those areas are addressed, it's going to be tough sledding next year because the Eastern Conference is really tough.
Okay, two questions. What would it take to get Dylan Larkin? And two, who's Robinson? If I don't know, I'm guessing part of the audience.
Dallas, 40-goal scorer.
Okay, yeah. All right, fair enough. But would Yzerman trade Larkin to the Bruins, first of all? Do you think that he would be willing to deal with them?
It's such a weird dynamic now because the players are kind of saying, I want to trade, but I want to trade to these guys.
Right.
I only want these four teams. And that's what happened with Brady Tkachuk, and they appeased him because they really had no choice because he had them over a barrel, right? He wasn't going to re-sign. So it's tough. I don't know why, the original list that Larkin presented to the Red Wings, the Bruins weren't on it, but, they asked him to expand that list, and it's been quite quiet since. I don't know why Boston wouldn't be a desirable location. There's stars here. It's a strong fan base. They have the money. But to your first question, what would it take? It's going to take 2 to 3, first round picks to get Dylan Larkin and probably a prospect or two because that's the going rate now. You saw what Florida paid for Brady Tkachuk, and probably similar for Jason Robinson as a left winger that you could plug anywhere in your lineup. He scored 40 goals last year for a very good Dallas team. And I don't think it's, their desire to get rid of him. They're just, contract-wise, they just can't afford him with all the salaries they have.
I keep hearing the name Mason Lowry dangled in trade talks.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Lowry, take it easy.
I actually got that
really
one.
Good, really
no, you
good.
didn't.
I did, absolutely.
No, McBride's the only one who got it because he's a P1.
Say it again. Say it again.
Mason Lowry.
Take it easy.
You oversold it that time.
No, but I'm selling it. I'm selling it for understanding.
Are they going to trade?
I dumbed it down. I'm sorry.
So
they're going to trade Mason Lowry.
Mason Lowry is one of those guys that you might
easy.
Think about trading. Is he the only guy? And what can you possibly get for Mason Lowry?
Well, I think he'd be a part of any deal because he's young, and he did have a I know he sat for a lot of the playoffs last year, but he did have a bounce back year for them. He was 2 years ago, he was thrust into a situation where he was eating minutes that he probably, hadn't earned yet or because of the injuries to Lindholm and McAvoy. And it showed, he was a young player who hadn't used to playing 20 to 25 minutes a game. And, last year was kind of more his wheelhouse and, he was productive. And, I think he got tired at the end of last year, but he's a team that, he's a player that teams ask about. Even asking Sweeney at the combine a couple of weeks ago, he said that he's a player that teams ask about. So young defenseman who can play either side. He played the right side as a left shot defenseman last year and was productive. So he'd be a part of any package, but I don't think he'd be he wouldn't be the centerpiece by any means. But a couple of draft picks and a player like Lohrei is probably something that's going to be needed to get a big fish.
All right.
Going back to something you had said, Jim, about Sweeney, and he wants to do something. Just what is your feeling in terms of how much he's feeling compelled by ownership to do this? Is this something he wants to do? Because I wonder sometimes how much pressure he gets on these moves.
Yeah, I don't feel like he has a ton of that pressure from the Jacobs family. I think he's competitive in nature, and when he sees other teams, especially the ones right around him, making moves, I think the competitive side of him comes out, and he wants to kind of match those moves at least. He's certainly recognizing the fact that this roster needs an upgrade. So I think he has the ownership's blessing to do what he thinks he needs to do to keep this team competitive.
Okay.
All right. Well, Jim McBride, have fun covering the draft and seeing 17-year-old kids be looked upon as what they're going to be like 4 years from then.
Right.
It's an odd...
When they will be completely different people in their minds and bodies.
It's just, the development of someone from the age of 17 until they're like 23, 25 is really hard to project. But there you go. That's the way that they do business in the NHL, and that's why kids start skating when they're out of diapers. Jim McBride, read him in the Globe as the draft starts tomorrow. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I just think my son's 18. He'd be old for the draft.
Oh, yeah.
He's been 18 for
been.
I think Connor McDavid went number 1 overall when he was 17 or 18.
Yeah, my son's been 18 for a full 2 months. I mean, he'd be a senior citizen in the draft. I just don't know how you can project that far ahead. I can see it if you're a college or something like that, but to project a 17-year-old in a sport like hockey seems really, really difficult. How they're going to fill out physically. That's what, how tall they're going to be. No idea, what they're going to fill out, how strong they're going to be, all those things. So good luck to them. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sport.
which obviously, why indeed? Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Hardy got to briefly interview an A-list celebrity at the Travelers yesterday, where we can also find out about the progress of his dream of caddying in the ProAm. But we all stayed overnight on Tuesday night over in the area, Rocky Hill, Connecticut, at a beautiful Hampton Inn, which there was nothing wrong with the Hampton Inn. But we all got in at different times, and you heard yesterday, if you were listening, that Hardy and John went out to dinner. They got there before I did, and they were seduced by a tattooed siren who then ended up making out with someone at the bar. That was not them. But what's interesting is that I wanted to applaud Hardy and question John, is that I set an alarm for a different time than I normally get up, and when I set the alarm, I have this new phone, and short story long, I didn't put it to make any noise. I didn't do that when I set the alarm. So I was awoken late from the time that I was supposed to meet really John down in the lobby. Mm-hmm. And I get a call from Hardy, and he's like, hey, he's very relaxed. He said, hey, I know you were supposed to meet us down here or something along those lines, but like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'll be down there in like 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm finishing up. I'll be down there. And Hardy was very relaxed. And then I got into his car. He had pulled the car up, and I said, oh, Jesus, I left my pass upstairs. He was very relaxed. We got to the event. We got to the show on time, and everything worked out. So I wanted to applaud Hardy because this was his big event, cool under pressure. Mm-hmm. Now, you might be asking yourself, but Fred, you just said you were supposed to be driving with John. No. John left. John just left.
Well,
John left. He called once and left. His thing was, Fred, there's a lifeboat. Well, I'm just going to get on it myself. He's going to
reach his hand out to you once. If you can't reach it, it's like, all right, roll away. Just to get it, lean into those oars.
Okay. Here's what happened. We had agreed we were going to meet downstairs at 5:15, I think it was. And so at 5:15, no Fred. I waited until 5:20. I shot you a text. And then at 5:25, I called, and there was no answer. At that point, I texted Hardy. I haven't heard from Fred. We were supposed to go over. Hardy said to me, well, I'm going to leave here in about 10 minutes. I'll take care of it. You should just go. And so I went.
Yeah, but that's almost like a test. You should just go.
So what would you have me
you're
do?
Married. You know that if your wife said you should just go, that you would say no. I mean, you know that. You're smarter than that.
Here's the exchange between me, Wallach, and Dennis. Supposed to meet Fred in the lobby at 5:15. Still no Fred. Mm-hmm. That was at 5:22.
Yeah, he's like, still no Fred.
I said, uh-oh. Well, I'm about 10 minutes from leaving, so I'll try him before I go if you guys want to leave now. Wallach, Dennis is already gone, so I can wait for you guys, no problem. I said, well, you're going to have to drive over separately anyway, so you might as well just go. Wallach, okay, you've got Fred? Me, nope. Wallach, one of us has to take him, right?
Yeah.
Me, I just talked to him. He'll be downstairs in 10 minutes, so I will drive him over. Wallach. Okay.
But John was already gone.
Yeah, but in Wallach's defense,
I don't want to hear this.
Clearly.
None of us can be late. This is one of the things I say about this show. You only work for 4 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know what? I do work for 4 hours a day. I can account for 4 hours of my workday 5 days a week. I can't say that about many of the people that I know, who have quote-unquote jobs.
Right.
There are plenty of days when they do nothing, much less for 4 hours, okay? And also, we can't be late. But if Fred or I show up a few minutes late, that's okay. John cannot be late. John is the first one on mic on this show every morning at 6 a.m. So I don't blame him for wanting to really, really make sure he is here on time. And I've never, ever known John to be late.
No,
now,
John's never late. But...
it's only been working with him for a few years, but in all the years of knowing everything that goes on at this station, Have you ever been, I mean, later than you wanted to get here? Have you ever been late for a broadcast?
I think maybe once.
When
we first started the show like 15 years ago, you're getting used to getting up early and slept through an alarm.
I don't know about if you have. I don't remember you being late. Certainly, I don't remember myself being late ever. But the thing is that it's that if it was Hardy or John that had to be there, if I was John, I'd be like, Hardy, you got to go. This is like for two reasons. One, you're like a co-host, and two, you are like the liaison, basically, who's established this relationship with the travelers. So I would sacrifice myself. Now, if you both would have left, I would have actually understood too, and I would have just found a way to get there, and I would have been tremendously late, but I wouldn't have been mad at you guys for leaving.
I guess it would have like solely depended on the time, but had you not picked up when I called you, if I had enough time, I would have gone to the front desk, asked for your room number, and went up there and knocked on the door.
Right. Because the difference between that and a normal show is that we were all staying at the same hotel, and I mean, I'm saying it as the person that was. I wasn't late. We ended up getting to we had plenty of time. We got there a few minutes early. But the thing is that since we were all staying in the same hotel, I would have understood. Okay, something must have happened. Because you knew I was there. Because I told you when I was gonna get to be able to have dinner if you wanted to have dinner.
Right.
So Hardy knew I was at the hotel.
Yeah.
So I was right where you guys were. I was in the same building. Now it's not your responsibility to do it, but at least you knew I was in the compound. Like if it's a normal show, I could be in Timbuktu. You don't know what's going on or what I did the night before.
And I texted you that night, right when you had just gotten there.
Right.
So I knew you were. There.
Yeah, you knew I was there, but John,
just dropped you and left.
I kind of wish I could have seen John in that lobby, flapping around and bumping into walls. And
I'm glad he picked you because he would have been much less composed. I was very surprised with how composed Hardy was. He didn't give me any hassle. He was just, I'm like, I'm really sorry. He's like, it's no problem. And then when we pulled away, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I don't have my pass, which I probably didn't need anyway, because the face.
Sure.
You mentioned that, and it's fine, and I would like to think that's just how I am, but I know I'm not like that. I don't know why I was so relaxed and so calm. Maybe because I just knew it was going to be a great day. And it was. It was a great day.
You're off fair for the most part. Unless you feel wronged, I think that you're very composed.
Cool?
I was just appreciative of not feeling like, come on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's just radio.
Hey.
But anyway, Hardy stayed after John and I left, and there's many reasons for that. And some good came out of it, and some frustrating to him. But we will have all of that news coming up in just a moment.
Team centering around Jaylen Brown. This is after Brown almost went to Milwaukee in a Giannis Antetokounmpo deal earlier this week. Celtics also had a second-round pick in the NBA draft last night, and at number 40 overall, they took 6'8" St. John's senior Dylan Mitchell. He is seen as an outstanding defender, but very challenged on offense. The Charlotte Hornets are reportedly fielding aggressive trade offers for LaMelo Ball. Detroit has traded center Isaiah Stewart to Memphis for 3 second-round picks, and the Lakers have re-signed Austin Reeves to a 4-year, $185 million contract. At the World Cup, the U.S. plays Turkey in L.A. tonight in their final matchup of group play. Christian Pulisic is expected to play. Last night, South Africa advanced with a 1-0 win over South Korea. Mexico beat Czechia 3-0. Scotland now leads a lot of help to get out of group play. They lost to Brazil 3-0. Morocco beat Haiti 4-2. Switzerland over Canada 2-1. And Bosnia-Herzegovina all but clinched a meeting with the U.S. in the round of 32 with a 3-1 win over Qatar. And let's hear it for the Red Sox. They now have the worst record in the American League after an 8-6 loss in Denver to Colorado yesterday. Marcelo Meyer's error in the 8th inning opened up the door for 3 unearned runs for the Rockies. Sox are back home to play the Yankees and Cam Schlittler tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on a new Ford? Go to the Best first. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to bestford.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston Tilt for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We'll be on YouTube. I'm sorry, I just got a text. I will be on YouTube, which is interfering with my job. Or my job is interfering with the text I got, is what I should say. We are on YouTube. You can watch us live. And you can watch us on tape there. It's up forever unless we say something inappropriate, and then it's taken down immediately. You can subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub up on there. So yesterday, we were the Travelers. We got a lovely email from a listener who said it sounded like a infomercial for the Travelers, and that's I would answer because it was.
Pretty much a given when you're on location.
There's
like
a
that.
reason we were broadcasting from the Travelers.
What are you doing, Nick?
What is going on?
Just grabbing these headphones. I'm sorry.
Why?
What? It
Why are you
seems
grabbing
kind
the
of odd.
No, why?
Come back in here,
What's
please.
going on?
Come back in here, please. Come back in here.
You see that look of defeat? It's like, oh,
So
man.
Nick just walked in while we were talking. By the way, we just got out of break 30 seconds ago.
We
but
just
he
had a
came in-
5 or 6 minute commercial break, Nick.
Wait, what's going on?
I'm sorry. I just need to.
That's fine. I'm just wondering why you needed them.
The intern's using mine for right now, so because they won't fit in the board that's.
And so he's using them for the YouTube thing?
For listening to audio and whatnot. Yeah.
So we actually have him working.
Yeah.
What's the intern's
Perfect.
name, Fred?
Ryan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Ryan. You got that right,
Yeah,
buddy.
Thumbs up.
Oh, we give Ryan full access. He's allowed in the meetings. Ryan's got nothing to complain about. He's got as internships go. I mean,
yep.
We include him in everything.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think Ryan would say that right now. And now I even know his name, which is almost extra. All right, Nick,
All right.
you can go now.
Thank you.
Was that slump shoulder look of defeat when you called him back in here? It's like, oh, God.
Look, he's acting like I yell at him every day. Not anymore. Yes, Nick. 20 years ago, I yelled at you every day.
God, he's got the same palate every day. I don't know how to in terms of your clothing choice.
He knows he's just going to have a hospital robe on.
All I can say is it looks like you're on your way. It looks like you're on your way to a Brandy Carlisle show, and I'll leave it at that. That's the palette you choose every day.
See, I think the idea is why dress up when you're just going to end up in a hospital. You know, and he doesn't have to wait in triage or anything.
You got to
He takes
wait.
him right
You
in.
got to wear the tearaway stuff to make it easier.
You do know I'm not kidding about Nick, is that if he goes to the hospital, if any of us go to the emergency room, they're going to make you wait like a long time, and then you go into triage and they make you wait. Nick will tell you this, regardless, even if he just has the flu, or if he hurt his foot or something, he goes to the hospital. and they pull up his chart.
Yeah,
like, at the
you
front.
get the big red sign for heart problems.
He's like my dad.
You get the
VIP.
fast pass. You're skipping a line.
Yeah, my
It's
dad's
true.
diamond medallion at the Loudoun County Hospital. Like, they're
just
like
right
Freddie,
this way, sir.
tip your cap. Yeah, exactly. But Nick gets in any hospital as soon as they pick up his records. So next time you're sitting in the emergency room with you or someone that you are responsible for, and you're sitting there for all day, just know Nicholas ain't.
It's like a table permanently reserved for the governor at certain restaurants. Nick's got his own bed at the hospital.
Have you know when you're sitting at the hospital waiting room and like someone just comes, you've been waiting for a long time, and someone just walks up and like gets right in, and you're like pissed, and you have to remind yourself like that maybe that's not good for the person.
Yeah,
like that they just had to get back there.
Yeah,
it's like my gym is at the same place as like a Dana-Farber location in Chestnut Hill. And, you know, if someone's like driving erratically, it's an underground parking garage. And if someone's driving erratically or something, I'll remind myself, oh, yeah, this isn't just the gym. There's a Dana-Farber. Perhaps people have other things on their minds rather than parking. Right. So I'll have to put myself in that frame of mind. All right. So we broadcasted from there. And Hardy, this is off air too. Like Hardy really wanted to, there was a ProAm yesterday. And we had talked about how Dylan Dreyer was playing with Carson Daly. That's the only two celebrities that I knew were playing. Again, Carson Daly, I question calling a celebrity because I'm as good as him.
I know you think so, but it's and that may be true in terms of talent, but it was your
I'm superior to
it was
him
your
now.
insistence that you are somehow on the same level of fame, even locally, as Carson Daly, which is not true.
Did I say I was the same in fame?
Oh, yeah. We've hashed this out and there are many different levels. Like locally, you were as big as Carson Daly is, you know what you mean to Boston and all this stuff. And, you
think today Carson Daly, more people in Boston know who Carson Daly is than me?
1,000%.
Interesting. I'd have to investigate.
Both of you
I'll get my
walk down
people on it.
Newbury Street today and see who gets stopped.
I think it would be more like the name. Because when did Carson Daly stop being a person that people cared about?
He still is a person people care about. You should have seen the reaction he got yesterday.
Well, yeah, they were gawking at us. You guys signed autographs.
John and I did. Fred did not.
No, he didn't care about me. He did. He got it last year. He said, I've already sold that one. Yeah. Saw what it went for.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this ProAm, and Hardy wanted to caddy in it. And you did talk to, first of all, an A-list celebrity, and you got in an odd way. Kind of take us through that whole thing.
Yeah, so once we finished up the show, it was told to me that I should be on the first tee at 1:00, and I thought this was maybe going to be for, my caddying gig.
Time to loop. This is good. You were ready. You had your bag full of stuff and everything.
Yes, and there was an emailer yesterday who was very bothered by my insistence on using the word loop, and I emailed him back, loop, 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 loop.
Of course.
Did you see that, Fred? Yeah.
That makes sense.
But all I wanted to do, again, set manageable goals and dreams. And all I wanted to do was get an unpaid caddy position at a Pro-Am, right? That's it. For who? For anybody. Anyone who's there. Some local business owner. Some, charity bigwig who is, in playing with one of the pros yesterday. Let me carry the bag of anybody for 18 holes during the Pro-Am. That's all I really wanted. So they told me, be at the first tee at 1:00. Well, we get off the air at 10. I've got 3 hours to kill. Now, Michael Whitmer, who was, our liaison with the Travelers, he was great. He and I hooked up right away. We went over to the media room where Tommy Fleetwood was doing kind of like a post-practice round pre-tournament presser.
Drummer for Fleetwood Mac.
No. That's Mick.
Oh.
Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood is more famous
runner-up
locally.
Yes.
Runner-up last year to Keegan Bradley at the Travelers Championship. And sat in there, then went into, one of the chalets where I ate and got to watch people coming up 18. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to start walking around, walk the course a little bit. I got a text from Michael saying, hey, Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins is down on the practice tee, and he is down there holding court, is how he put it. Now, Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins has a show coming up on Netflix. He is, if you don't know, Google it and you'll see who he is. But this show is documenting his
Are you not
comeback
allowed
to the
to say
PGA
who it
Tour.
is?
It's Will Ferrell, and it's.
I was gonna say
it was kind of odd the way.
Yeah, like people are just gonna be like, Hardy's talking about a random golfer.
You're not on the course anymore.
Will Ferrell is taping something for Netflix where he is this character, Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins. We knew Will Ferrell was going to be there at some point. And so Will Ferrell's there in character, and they're shooting stuff for Netflix. So there's like a camera crew around him.
Yeah,
and stuff
he's
like
not
that.
breaking character ever. He is, he was in New York City. He's going around. He's doing all these things, and he shows up, and everybody knows it's him. So they've got him set up under one of these big travelers umbrellas, right at the entrance to the practice tee, where they've got the Netflix cameras, and this is all part of the show or part of the promotion for the show, which I guess debuts next month. And I see people lined up at the closest spot you can get just to get a look at the Hawk, and try and get close to him. This is a big deal. We were told he was going to show up after 10 a.m. Like, oh, that sucks. It would have been great to get him on the show, but sure enough, it's like 11 o'clock at this point, and he's all set up and he's doing stuff. So I walk down there, and I'm kind of standing with everybody else, and I'm like, I got this credential on, got a media credential. I was informed that he was down there. Let's see what happens. So I walk around all the people. I walk past this security guard, and I gave him my standard, like, can you believe I got to walk over here now?
Mm-hmm.
That's my move to get into places.
Like put upon, yeah.
Yeah, you're not
Right.
sure you have to go, but, I'm kind of carrying some work stuff. I'm like, I can't believe I got to go over here now. It's like, yeah, I hear you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I just walked past. And next thing I know, I'm standing there next to the people shooting this, someone who is presumably a director, someone wearing in full caddy whites with the name Hawkins on the back, who is also, filming on their camera. And the Hawk is sitting there with Ricky Fowler and doing a one-on-one with him. And like Will Ferrell, he's running the bit. He's like, you ever try and change your grip like mid-round? And he's kind of giving him answers. No, I don't think that's a good idea, Hawk. And it's like, I tried it one time, and all right. So that happens. Then he brings over another golfer, Harris English, and Harris comes over with his caddy, who actually they kind of get a little bit going back and forth. But he's trying different golfers. He's trying to to get something, and they go through however many they have. I think there were 3 maybe who sat down in the time I was there, and I'm getting a little closer and getting a little close to the point where. We'll have some video up later where I'm, I don't know, like 10 feet away. And it's just me and a few of the Netflix people standing there. And they don't ask who I am, and I don't ask anything. And I'm making eye contact with him as he's doing his bits and kind of like laughing and smiling. And it's like, I see what you're going for.
I get the craft.
Yeah.
Yes, and.
I'm in the biz a little bit myself.
Hey, Will, 2 words. Yes, and.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here for the improv.
He's trying to improv with these PGA Tour stiffs. So I just kind of wait it out, and they get done shooting, and I hear the director go over to him and say, "Okay, well, there's all these people watching you. I want to get you like signing autographs over there. We're gonna go get that." So okay, and he stands up, and I say, "Well, this is my moment." So I already had my phone out. I was already recording, and I had looked up something that had to do with the Hawks' backstory, something to do with him beating Tiger Woods at the 2008 John Deere Classic. I said, okay, I have a maybe something that he can lean into here, so I'm just going to push my way through. I didn't even have to push. He was kind of walking to him.
Just walked up to him.
I just walked up to him.
So it's Hardy walking up to Will Ferrell, but Will Ferrell is in the character of Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins, who is like, I guess, a washed-up professional
right,
golfer.
and it just got done doing all this, predetermined, scheduled interviews with golfers, and, I just kind of emerge and do this.
Hawk, can I get one question real quick? There's some pending litigation regarding the John Deere Classic about some damaged tractor equipment from years ago after your win there in 2008. Can you comment on that?
Still?
Yeah.
I thought that was thrown out. Look, my lawyer, Kim Kardashian, has told me to refrain from comments. But I will say this. That was a faulty tractor. Yeah.
Well, there was some tractors damaged in celebration after your win, and there was something about a PSA that you did about syphilis from a tractor seat. I don't know.
No, I didn't do that. Okay. But I did drive a tractor into the lake, into a water feature, but they told me I could do it. Right. They say John Deere is indestructible. Drive it anywhere you want. I took that literally. Was it the right decision? I regret my decision. I'm learning to change. Blah, 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 blah. PR answer.
It's perfect talk. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Yeah. You did a little backstory on the man.
A little bit, and it turns out after going back and doing a deeper dive on the Hawk, Kim Kardashian has appeared in some of his videos. She is representing him.
Oh wow!
So they've got Kim Kardashian on board.
How about that?
Because she went to. Did she get her law degree?
I think she passed the bar.
I think so.
Because she's been getting people out of prison. Like, that's
right.
her big prison reform person.
So she is in the legal community and now representing Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins. And so after that wraps up, one of the Netflix people said, I'm sorry, who are you? It's just a guy from the radio station. She's like, oh, well, can we get your Instagram and your email and all this stuff? So I don't know if, because all I had was the audio. I didn't have anyone when they're shooting with me. As many of these golf influencers tend to have with them. Always somebody there, doing the filming, so they don't have to be bothered with it. I'm not doing that. But she goes, oh yeah, we were filming the whole thing. That was great. Don't post anything until we have a chance to post it. I'm like, well, I've got nothing to post. I'm not posting. I'm gonna play it on the radio, but that's fine. And they were fine with it. So that's how it all went down.
All right. Well, there is a call here. Liam. Hello, Liam.
Hey, Fred. Long-time listener, first-time caller, but I have no idea who Carson Daly is. I think on Newbury Street, you'd be noticed first. And maybe even Wallach, as long as he's in bird form. Also, Kim Kardashian did not pass the bar exam, is what I've heard. I think she actually gave up on the whole thing after a few years.
Oh, that doesn't sound right.
Well, that's a better story.
Sound right at all.
That's certainly a better story.
Just making some corrections for you boys. I appreciate you. All the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. There you go. I mean, there is one person doesn't even know who Carson Daly is. Talk to me personally just now.
When was Carson Daly's last year doing TRL?
Oh, I mean, 1990.
Seriously. So my point is, people of the age of, say, 35 and younger wouldn't know who Carson Daly is?
I would say 40 and younger.
Fine.
42 and younger. 42 and a half.
Well, then maybe you do win because all the kids know who you are and know who we are.
Of course.
We've got the young people.
Yeah. I'm the guy who hung up on Rick Pitino.
Exactly.
So the long story short is, thank you for doing that. I appreciate you getting Will Ferrell on. But then now it's time for you to start caddying.
I go over. That took a few minutes, and I sent the audio off to make sure that we had it saved. I wanted to do all that. I'm like, oh, it's getting close to 1 o'clock now. I got to get over the first tee.
Right.
So I go over to the first tee. And this is where some of the big celebrities are going off at this point. And Carson Daly walks up to a big ovation. I'll remind you, Fred.
Right, where they're instructed to ovate.
Yes, and that was the Wordle word the other day, by the way. Ovate. I didn't even know that was a word. And I'm standing around. I see the tournament director, Nathan. He's like, hey, what's up? I said, Andy told me to be here, the big wig from the Travelers. He goes, oh, God, how much did he lean into this caddying thing? Because I got nothing for you.
Is that what he said to you?
Pretty much. And I'm like, he just told me to be here at 1 o'clock for the NBC group going off. He's like, okay. So they show up. Dylan Dreyer shows up like on 3 wheels, apparently. I found out afterwards, sped there from finishing the Today Show So came up from New York, got there, was pretty much changing into her golf outfit, like on the first tee, like getting stuff in her pocket. I mean, she wasn't getting naked, but she was like getting
You got to
situated.
remember, he loves Dylan Dreyer.
Yeah, very much so.
She's a great meteorologist.
I don't understand why the attraction, but Zolac feels the same. Zolac,
She's great. She's great. She's
didn't say she's not great. I just said you find her like uncommonly attractive.
Yeah. I just appreciate her work.
Semifinalist, Fred. Semifinalist.
Difficult for you to comprehend. I see her show up, and people are like Dylan and Carson and the, meeting some people and all that. And as they are teeing off, Nathan, the tournament director, comes over and he lifts the rope, much like Paulie lifted the rope for Adrian to crawl into the ring at the end of Rocky. He's like, come on in. So I get up on the first tee with all of them as they're announcing them, and they tee off. And then Andy goes, Hardy, come on. Let's go. And we start walking down the first hole with that group. Mm-hmm. And Dylan's teeing off from the forward tees, like way down there. Before she tees off, and he says, Dylan, come here for a second. I want you to meet my friend Hardy. And he introduces us and says that, I'm with this morning show in Boston. She's like, oh, yeah, and pretends to know who we are.
Sure.
And I say, yeah, we have some mutual friends from when you were at, the station here in Boston. She said, oh, it's such a loyal market. They whenever I'm going to Boston, they say, we miss you here. I'm like, yeah, we do. It's great. And got a video of her, teeing off, which we'll post later.
Did you get a picture of the two of you together?
No. Again, what am I going to do? A selfie? I'd
hand your phone to Nathan, and he would have taken the picture.
You didn't have one of the devices.
I didn't have a selfie stick or any of that, but I got a chance to walk the first hole with the group there, and get out onto the course inside the ropes a little bit, and it was actually the perfect end to the day, because I thought afterward, I'm like, oh my God, what if I had actually strapped on someone's clubs at 1:00 in the afternoon and then had to go carry for 4.5 hours? I was already dead on my feet. It had been a long day already. I'm like, oh no, now I can just get in my car and go home, and that's what I did.
So Dylan Dreyer, too big for the market now. She's like, oh, when I come to Boston, people tell me how much they miss me and how glorious
She's a national, you know what, Fred? She's a national treasure at this point. Some have called her America's sweetheart.
No one, as a matter of fact.
I just did.
Yes. And
am I no one?
You're you.
Am I nobody?
You should have gotten a picture.
Very quickly, Adam, go ahead.
Hey, Freddie T, what's up, baby?
What's up?
Hey, Carson Daly's on the Today Show every day. Does like the Pop Start and stuff, man.
Yeah.
He might have some real competition.
Pop Start.
What?
Pop Start. It's a segment on the Today Show. Pop Start.
He's on every day.
How long's the segment?
Like 5, 6
about
minutes.
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
6 minutes. Yeah, that's it.
30 seconds.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
I
Right.
can't believe I've never
block
seen
of the
it.
Today Show.
What's your benchmark bit? It ain't Pop Start.
It's called Just Being No Pockets. All right, thank you, Adam. 30 seconds a day. Maybe it would be competition. I highly doubt it. Tom Caron is very famous, as he is on television.
Yes.
We will talk to him in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, Travelers Championship. Thank you again for our great day there yesterday. But the real competition begins today. Keegan Bradley, he's your defending champion. Scotty Scheffler, saw him yesterday. He walked right past me in the Lonnie.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Tom Caron, of course, you know from announcing and hosting shows on NESN, Red Sox, and what have you. Tom, hello.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Good. I follow you on social media because I'm a big fan. You know, don't be uncomfortable if you see me. I mean, I'm not going to try to get a lock of your hair, to your knowledge. But I saw you were at the World Cup, and you were. Who'd you go to the World Cup with?
I went with a friend. I did not go with Alex Cora.
Okay.
I ran into Alex Cora at the World. We were sitting in the same row, which was unexpected. I had talked to him. I knew he was going. We were going to meet up there, and we were sitting in the same row, as it turned out.
Are you so you have like a good relationship with him that you would consider him a friend?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I covered him as a player way back, almost 20 years ago. I've known him for a very long time, obviously going back to, when he first came in, it was almost 8 years ago, and you get to know somebody on a personal level. Sometimes you strike up a friendship. The interesting thing is we are both pretty hardcore soccer fans. So over the years in the off season, we've spent a lot of time texting about soccer. So soccer brought us together the other day.
Yeah, you were like a big shot soccer player, right?
No. I mean, I played. I wouldn't say big shot.
I thought you played in college.
I played for a year in college. I was fortunate to grow up in Maine, and the level to be good enough to be good was lower than
University of Maine's a D1 program, my friend.
No, I did not play at University. I played D2 at St. Michael's.
Well, D2, you still give scholarships. I'm not saying you got a scholarship, but there's no. Don't see you're being overly modest.
You're a hell of a soccer player.
Just say thank you and move on.
No, don't tell him to do that, John. You stupid idiot.
I'll brag for a minute. I set a record at my school as a goalkeeper for the lowest goals against average, and that stood for almost 30 years.
Oh, I didn't know you were. Wow. I didn't know you were a goalkeeper. Oh.
Yeah, well, that problem, that was the end of it. I mean, now I went for a year in college, and they said, "Oh, we saw your numbers." Back then, there's no internet, right? So they were going by printed stuff and word of mouth, and they didn't realize I wasn't 6'3". You got to be 6'3" to be a goalkeeper in college.
Yeah.
So I had a year, and then it was on with it.
When they broke the record, when the record eventually was broken, did you find yourself like oddly upset about it?
We actually there was a couple of years earlier where I went up at Lewiston, Maine, and they were deep in the play. There was like the final game of the season. They were the best team. And if the goalkeeper that year had a shutout in the final game, he would have broken my record. And we ended up at the game, not because of that, but we're at the match. And I was like, am I supposed to be cheering against this kid?
Yes.
It was kind of a really awkward feeling. And sure enough, I did cheer against him, and he gave up a goal, and it's good for another 5 years.
Nice. Because it's one of those things, Tom, and I'm glad you said that, and I knew I liked you, because it's one of those things that everyone would go like, what do I care? What do I care? But then like once, and you probably never thought about it, but then once like there's a danger of it going away, instinctually, anyone would be like, I hope, unless they're your kid.
You go from not caring to caring desperately.
Yeah, like enough where it would annoy you if it happened. Yeah. Like, I don't think you'd go cry, but like I would be annoyed. I'd be like, I would be actively rooting against it happening for sure. 100%.
Well, remember, like I always thought, like these professional athletes show so much grace when like someone's record is being broken and they show the guy sitting there in the stands. Right, and was it just who did Ovechkin? Right, like, and they keep showing, and they always say the right things. Well, I knew it wouldn't stand forever. I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I'd chug a beer and storm out of the arena, and you'd never see me again.
Right?
Like, so
I think it's almost worse.
This was Lewiston High School goalkeeping,
but I think that's worse. Tom, I think that's worse. I do think that a high school record, you want it to be broken less, because if I'm Gretzky or I'm, I guess Roger Maris's family, right. But that doesn't count because it's the family. But if I'm someone who holds a record and it's being broken, I've been praised so much and been so many accolades and so many, like if I was a scrub that had like, if I was a utility player that was in the major leagues for a year and a half, and by some miracle I broke like DiMaggio's record of streaks, and then my like leg blew up, then I would want that. But I think the more success you've had as a professional athlete, maybe you do care less because you've been given all that praise. But like for all the rest of us, high school was it. And
well, that's that. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's only so much on your resume.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Off it. It's funny. The funny, this longer story than I expected, but the funny part of it is the coach. He just retired a couple years ago. He was there when I played, so he coached like 30 years after me. And every year he would send me a note. He would text me, record still stands. Because I'm not really paying that close.
Of course.
And then one year, the season ended. I got a text. Sorry, TC.
And there's a part of you that's like, Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah, he'll never text me again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I see John Krasinski's brother's name up at Newton South in the gym, so I'm like, it's still up there, one of the all-time leading scorers. All right. I could make a reference and a segue into the Red Sox about not scoring, but I'm above that. It's too obvious for my professional demeanor, but
it was funny that Alex Cora and I watched a scoreless game.
When you're hanging out with Cora, does he I know you're friends and I don't want you to divulge anything. I'm not going to put you in that position. We have you on every week, but did he give you any little sly comment about what was going on with the Red Sox? Like, hey, Tom, having fun covering
chat. After the match, we had a little chat one-on-one for a couple of minutes, and it was sort of good to, because I have talked to him along the way since. And you stay in touch. And, if you talk to most of the media, he's talked to a lot of us. So he sent us notes along the way. But I haven't talked to him in a while. You kind of, you think you're going to stay in touch with somebody pretty frequently, but the season rolls on and baseball moves on. And I haven't talked to him much in a few weeks. And so we had a little chat just about what's going on. He still talks to Chad Tracy. He's still close to a lot of it. So, unlike me rooting against the kid in Lewiston, he's actually rooting for the Red Sox to do well. He's not walking around being bitter. So,
all right, well that's good. All right, so not good against Colorado. Not good.
Scored a lot of runs yesterday, though, Fred.
Yeah,
tons.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't hold.
It's defensively. There's still issues.
Yeah, as soon as listen, we spent a lot of time ripping Durban. But he has been really good defensively the entire season, and now he's hitting. And he gets hurt yesterday, and they move Siegler over to third, and the very first ball is hit to him, and that's an error. And then, the error on Meyer in the seventh inning after he's got a sore foot and whatever the case. But it was as soon as it feels so fragile when you're watching it, right? Like one thing, Durban goes down, and there's an error the next inning, and you almost feel I remember a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, when Trevor Story got hurt, they were off to a really good start on the West Coast trip. And remember, he got hurt, with 2 games left on the West Coast trip. He did that sprawling, I think it was in Anaheim, and he was out for pretty much the year. But, they had one error in the first 8 or 9 games that season, and then they were averaging 2 errors a game for the next 2 weeks. You just feel the confidence leave the team. And I felt that's what happened again yesterday. And you were right back to the defensive problems you've had the last 2 years. And the margin for error is so small. The bullpen had been really good. Now Slayton scuffling. A couple nights ago, Chapman can't get an out in the 9th inning. It's if it ain't one thing, it's another. And now the bullpen's leaking.
Tom, it's not just the errors, the mental mistakes. For instance, Marcelo Meyer turning a double play that didn't need to be turned at the end of the 3rd inning. And Ranger Suarez looks back and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" Is that a byproduct of just not concentrating, not having the fundamental sense to understand where they are in the inning, or is it just, a snowball rolling downhill at this point?
Yeah, I just think they're so young. I really do. Did you see the play? Was it the 9th inning when Monasterio got in the way of the throw to Meyer at second base, like he was 5 feet in front of him?
I saw a highlight of that, yes.
Got it and sort of flipped it over to him.
Sure.
You got to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's just, they got a lot, you got Monasterio and Siegler and Meyer. That's your second base, shortstop, third base. They're all, under a year of major league experience. And, we go back to a lot. We're saying the same things we talked about in February when we tried to figure out what this team was going to be. Are there enough adults in the room? Is there enough experience on the field? And the answer is no. And you're seeing it on a nightly basis.
Well, the solution is to go nuts in free agency and bring in a bunch.
That's right.
Yes.
Is what my recipe would be.
We know they're going to add. How much are they going to add?
That's right, Tom.
Yeah. You have this young base.
You go back and let's go. It's the sad thing now is, I come on a post-game show Monday night. And that's about as fired up as I've been in a while when they, 8 straight hits to end the game. And one of the first things in your mind isn't so much that they lost the game. You're like, did this hurt Chapman's value at the deadline?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all you're starting to think about now. You try to just hold your breath. Can Tyron Guerrero stay this good for another month so that you can maximize his value? But listen, I know Breslow again this week said we got to see. But 2 weeks ago, Sam Kennedy made it pretty clear that, we'll see what happens over the next 2 weeks. And they played 500, give or take a game, but that 500 is not going to do it. They haven't gone on a 7-3 run yet. They've hardly had a 6-4 run yet. So you haven't seen anything that's going to make them, not sell off at the deadline. So we're at July next week. The deadline's coming. And at this point, why not? I keep saying, why not be – look, we just sold our house. Okay, we downsized. The kids got older. And our realtor said, put your house on the market in February. Be the first. Set the market. Well, there's so many teams in the hunt right now. I don't know why you'd wait if you're the Red Sox. I would get the word out there. These guys are available. Let's hear your offers. Because a month from now, 3 or 4 teams are going to fall out of that race, and they won't be buyers anymore. And maybe one of your guys is going to get hurt, and he won't be available. I would be out there right now trying to build up this market for my guys as quickly as I could.
Yeah, because both leagues are real jammed up in terms of that wild card race. So, I mean, if you're the Red Sox and you admit that you're not leaping now the entire rest of the American League, like you have to, 6 games. Tom, I think we've maybe said this every time you're on. You have to leap a lot of teams, and that's just not happening. And some of those teams
dead last. I mean, you're dead last now. You've fallen to last place.
Yeah, and there's going to be teams in that mix that are adding, and like players like Skubal are going to get traded. And if they go in the American League, that team's already lapping you. And even if you have to play him, if you face Skubal, I highly doubt they're going to beat him. Short of with that offense, minor miracle. Anyway, the point is that you're not going to win. So, yes, I do think that if you are the first team and you go, look, you can have Chapman now for the second half of the season and then into the postseason, of course that's worth more, right? Like, I mean, I'm giving you a guy and he can close games for you for half the season. That's big. That's way better.
Sonny Gray, right? You trade Sonny Gray next week and a team's going to get 5-6 more starts out of him. That's a massive difference over getting him at the end of July. Mm-hmm. It is, and we've seen that. And Sonny Gray's been, he's 9-1. He's been really good. And so that the starting pitchers are always the guys that I think you want to move them because every week you wait is a start or 2 he won't make for the team buying him. So how many starts are you getting? 10 or are you getting 14, 15? That's a big difference.
Yeah. And remember when the fan base, Tom, did not want Sonny Gray. They did not like it. And
no,
we
at that point, were they off on that? This guy's been there. I mean, they're what do they have? 10-4 when he starts.
Yeah,
and like 19 under 500 when he doesn't.
I think there's one pitcher in baseball with a better record than him right now.
Yeah, and you got to qualify, which is still a strange thing in baseball. But when he qualifies, probably after his next start, he'll be top 5 ERA. He won't win the Cy Young, but he'll be not far off that conversation.
Yeah,
he's had a great year.
I don't know why people were so against that. I don't know why that he, for some reason, bothered people. It just was.
I don't know
so
because he struggled in New York, and a lot of people think, he's not cut for the big market. He's fine.
Big market.
He's a he's a major league pitcher, and I love everything we talked about with the veteran leadership and stuff. When he said the other day, I think he walked the first guy, and then he said, I had to remind myself, who cares about Colorado? Everyone keeps talking about I can't spin the ball in Colorado. I can throw a curveball in Colorado. I can throw a curveball anywhere. Let's get out of our own head and play baseball. And that's the conversation that this team hasn't had enough of.
Yeah, and that's Sonny Gray is. I told the stories that best story I heard of pitcher is the umpire wasn't calling low strikes before the ABS system, and he's getting knocked around a little bit in the first inning, and he's like, I got to correct myself, I got to adjust. How am I going to adjust? He figured it out mentally. Ended up going 6 innings that day. So right. That's the kind of guy you were getting, is a professional major league pitcher that doesn't rely on stuff anymore. And I think that's a positive if you're getting a guy for basically 1 year.
Had a great, back at spring training, had a great conversation with him. And he was talking about, because he's a guy who has been in this long enough that side sessions when he started were him in a bullpen and a guy with a clicker. And now a side session's in a lab with 6 screens.
With TrackMan, with the TrackMan stuff, yeah, right.
And he said, the problem is with all that new stuff, it's great. It's really allowed me to fine tune a lot of my stuff. It's been, and he's taken to all of it. But he goes, when you're on the mound of the game, it's still you against the hitter, and it doesn't matter what my spin rate is if he just hit it 480 feet. Right? It's still, how can I figure out how to beat this guy? And I think pitching, especially in baseball, we've gotten away from that sometimes. My expected ERA is low, so I'm good. That's fine. But at the end of the day, every at-bat is a pitcher against a hitter. And can you win this battle with whatever you've got that day? And that's still got to be the mindset of the pitchers. And I think young pitchers are slower to figure that out, and that's why you need a veteran like that.
Well, I mean, young pitchers are just taught that you're on a track, man, and it's your velocity, and it's basically your velocity, and outside of that, it's your spin rate, and if you can get those two things, you're going to get a lot of attention, and it's almost more important than anything that you've actually done in a game. So, that's how those guys are absolutely raised. And
it's how you develop. If you're a young pitcher, you got to have stuff, right? Because that's how you're going to get noticed.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I'm the manager of a team, if I'm the coach of a college team, that's how you got here, okay? But what you're doing today is trying to help me win a game. And that's, that I still think we're talking offense, pitching. That's the younger players today have a harder time with that because they're not taught how to win games. They're taught how to maximize their potential,
right?
Which is great. But at some point, and Corey used to talk about this all the time. I need team at bats. Hit a ground ball to the right side so the guy comes in from third. Don't worry about your batting average. Don't worry about how hard you hit the ball or your the bat speed on that at bat. Give me that bat that does something for the team. And that's when you have a lot of young players, and that's what we're seeing. I think that's, an entire team that's struggling with that concept.
Yeah, it's great to narrow a field of talent. I don't know once you get to that where you're only dealing with, 30 guys that you got to really, rely on it that much. All right, Tom Karen, we're very late, but thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed the World Cup. Watch him on NESN. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Here are the headlines. Oh, boy.
Sports Hub headline.
ESPN is reporting that Brad Stevens is continuing to actively engage with multiple teams about a possible trade for Jaylen Brown. Celtics participated in the second round of the NBA draft last night. At number 40 overall, they selected St. John's wing Dylan Mitchell. At the World Cup, the U.S. will play Turkey tonight in Los Angeles. It's their final match of group play, and the Red Sox lost in Denver to Colorado 8-6. They host the Yankees tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Truly Hard Seltzer. Join Truly at Apex Entertainment in Marlborough Friday, June 26th from 2 to 5 p.m. for a France against Norway watch party packed with prizes, giveaways, and your chance to win a Boston prize pack. See you at Apex. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update in about 10 minutes.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere this summer without going to Valvoline Instant Oil Change first. Get your car ready for whatever you got they're out there on the road waiting for you. Unless, it's like a brick wall, you steer around.
Same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. We've gone very late this hour, but Mark, go ahead.
Hey, kids. Hardy. I caddied at the Salem Country Club, and I got a loop at a Pro-Am at the Ferncroft in Danvers in '84, and then that led to the U.S. Open coming to Salem Country Club, and then I went and tour caddied for the Ladies Golf Tour in 1984.
Well, that's impressive.
Mark is he's living the dream of you, and you couldn't even get on that Pro-Am. All right, Mark. Well, you
parlayed. I got $40 for that bag that I carried in 1984 at the Pro-Am. So don't sell yourself short, kid.
Who were you caddying for? Do you remember?
I caddied for this dude Mike Lemenica, who happened to be the president of some golf course down in West Palm Beach.
Oh, I can't believe you don't know him.
Interesting thing too.
All right, thank you, Mark. I cannot.
That would have been 10 minutes.
But he said the next thing was interesting.
There's no more golf. It's enough.
That would have been 10 minutes right there, easily.
Yeah, no more golf. Well, we don't have 10 minutes, first of all. But I will tell you this. I apologize for the lack of content between commercial breaks. I will take that responsibility. We went long on the first two segments of this hour, but The Athletic has one of the most boring, pointless articles about Diana Rousini that I've ever seen.
This was the thing they've been working on.
Yeah, like it's just long and boring, and there's no information.
Really, really long.
Yeah, it's just long, so long that I'm having trouble finding the things that I read that I want to talk about. I should have printed it out and gotten a highlighter like it was 20 years ago, but usually I can retain information I've read within the last 12 hours well enough where I can scroll through and I can remember. But this I'm going to have to do some work on. But I apologize, but we'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
still actively engaged with talks with multiple teams about a possible deal. Last night, the Celtics took part in the second round of the NBA draft, and at number 40 overall, they selected St. John's wing Dillon Mitchell. In other NBA news, Charlotte is reportedly speaking to multiple teams about a deal involving LaMelo Ball. Minnesota is one of the frontrunners. Also, ESPN is reporting at this hour, 40-year-old Al Horford is declining his player option with Golden State and then signing a new 2-year, $14 million contract with the team. At the World Cup, the U.S. will wrap up group play tonight in Los Angeles with a match against Turkey. Christian Pulisic is expected to return for this game. And the Red Sox now fell into last place in the American League. They lost in Denver to Colorado yesterday, 8-6. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Jeep. You can't spell American without it. During the Jeep Make This the Summer event, celebrate 250 years of the country that can with a great deal on the vehicles that always can. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Break me. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Why do people listen to Toucher?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
It's the San Jose SaberCats.
I mean, I bet you John Bon Jovi made a ton on that team.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, what is this Turkey situation?
Yeah, what are you doing, Wallach?
I'm just going by what the TV broadcast is saying. I had to look it up this morning. Apparently, they wanted to change the name 4 years ago at the UN. Every broadcast I've seen of the World Cup, the U.S. plays Turkey and not Turkey. Just following through.
What's the body of water under California and Mexico called? What is it again?
Under California and Mexico?
Yeah, bring up a map.
The Pacific Ocean?
No.
The San Andreas Fault? What are you talking about?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I'm talking about the Gulf of America.
Oh, under, you mean south of.
Gulf of America is Texas and Louisiana.
I got my geography
Florida.
wrong.
Good grief.
But nonetheless, it's called the Gulf of America.
Uh-huh.
Whatever we call it, it is. So if you're going to insist on Turkey,
Yeah. What do they serve Thanksgiving in Canada? Turkey,
Hey. Careful! Don't electrocute yourself.
I love Thanksgiving. Sneaky good family holiday.
Sneaky good.
It is.
It does sneak up on you.
Green bean casserole. Oh, love it.
All right. So the Athletic.
Football.
Up next.
Lions. Nice Lions you got there, Fred.
Well, they're mine.
Yeah, you can have them.
Oh.
That's him falling out of the chair or getting electrocuted.
No, that was the chair.
If they get a win tonight and go up 3-1 over your Boston Bruins at the Garden, we're going to be talking to Billy Jaffe about that coming up next.
That's the electrocution.
Yeah, that's when Scott got electrocuted by the microphone.
That's coming up next.
It fell.
Oh, that would have been even better if that happened.
I think he fell out of his
Oh,
chair.
he did fall on that one too? All right.
Listen.
That's coming up next.
Oh, yeah,
he did
that's
fall.
right, he did fall.
He does a lot of pratfalls. Very vaudevillian, the school of vaudeville. So the Athletic, they fired Diana Rousini, or she resigned, or whatever the hell it was. But I mean, they weren't going to keep her anyway. Let's be honest about that. They said they were doing an internal investigation. Now, the Athletic, which is owned by the New York Times, did an article about it, but no one from the New York Times would go on the record about what happened. So it's an article in the New York Times. I'm reading it on the New York Times app. It's an article ostensibly in the New York Times about the New York Times, and they can't get any quotes from anyone from the New York Times. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't even know if you made it through the entire article. I did.
I got halfway. You lasted the entire thing?
I kept waiting for something to happen. It had me...
the last half of it is a recap of the last 3 months.
Again, the hubris between Diana Rousini and Vrabel about, especially from Diana Rousini's end, about not having the affair and the audacity of people to even imply such a thing is... I just found fascinating. Now, is Vrabel off the hook? I don't think that he is going to get asked anything more about this, but there always is that thing that's got to be in the back of your mind that when Diana Rousini, if and when she decides to talk, that's when this all gets dredged up again. I guess the most he can hope for is that she gets like a job as an insider again, where it's like pure journalism. So it's not in her best interest to talk about it. I find it very difficult to believe that like a major, like credible place would hire her in that capacity at this point, because it was such a public misstep. And now it's bringing up all this other stuff that was probably not so great either. Not affairs, but like just the way she handled things. It's bringing up mistakes that she's made, like saying coaches were fired when they weren't actually fired. But if she does want to continue, I mean, she was people loved having her on their shows. She was a TV personality at ESPN.
She was good.
Yeah, and so if she wants to go down that road again, she can certainly cover sports, but it's going to require being upfront and pretty transparent about what happened with Vrabel.
The comparison I've seen in the last week is Jason La Canfora, who used to be a big-time NFL insider and for some reason got pushed out of the business. He's now hosting like Afternoon Drive in Baltimore at the sports radio, and now he writes for a website called sportsboom.com.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That kind of thing is where I see her going.
So if I'm Rousini and I want a career, I don't want to work for sportsboom.com. I want to work for make a lot of money doing something that makes me famous. And to do that, she's just going to have some transparency and be like, she can do it. She's good at it. She can sit there and talk about herself. She can be self-deprecating about it, and then that goes away. But the problem is that helps her a lot, and the more self-deprecating and candid and transparent she is and funny about it that she is, it humanizes her and makes it all better for her. But the more she leans into that, not just what happened, but like the absurdity of it all, the worse that is for Vrabel. But so there's this. It starts with her getting pulled over, and we'll get into that if there's time. But I did find this very interesting, and it has nothing to do with Vrabel. So there is something apparently they can't stop sending their writers to conferences. They go to cons, but not for the movie thing. They go over. They're always speaking. They're always assigned to speak at conferences all over the world. Diana Rousini, the NFL insiders all over the place. Well, there's something called the State of the Times, the annual day-long presentation by the Times Company's top executives and journalists about the company's strategies and recent successes. Okay, so you have people that are literally like toppling governments. You have writers that are embedded in war zones. You have writers that have, can call Trump. Trump answers his phone. Like there are people with Trump's number. There are people that have, whatever you think of the New York Times, and my dad thinks it's this horrible, like communist rag, whatever you think of it, you would hard to argue that if you have a journalism degree and your dream is to write for a newspaper, that the New York Times is the pinnacle. So she's up in front of all these people doing very serious work. Again, whatever you think of it, to them, it's very serious. The Times does matter. It makes money. It does make money. It is not failing. Most newspapers are, but it is not. So she's up in front of these people, and here's her story that she tells. Oh, it does involve Vrabel, but it's not about like having sex with him. He goes, she goes, I did an interview with the Patriots coach Mike Vrabel. The interview, she explained, was stilted and boring. So she asked him what she called a throwaway question, inviting Mr. Vrabel to share a pet peeve. So here I am, in Iran with sources on the ground, risking life and limb, getting through intermediaries into war zones, or I'm in some country in Africa talking to the, war, like guys in wars and in militant groups and doing all these things. And Diana Rousini's telling me about a throwaway question that she asked the coach of the Titans. Oh, he was the Patriots coach at the time. So the coach of the Patriots. So I'm sitting there like, why did you make me go to this thing, first of all?
Right.
And then, so she goes, she asked him a throwaway question, inviting Mr. Vrabel to share a pet peeve. The Patriots coach told her how much it angered him when he spotted able-bodied interlopers parked in designated handicap parking spots.
Good story.
This person, this is a quote, this person who was so robotic on every single thing we were talking about in regards to the NFL, Miss Rousini said, but when it came to the real-life things, he just opened up. The video, she said, went everywhere. She said, because everyone can relate to it. She also noticed the coach's vigilance about his pet peeve. It's insane, Ms. Rousini told the audience, describing her thoughts during their interview. I'm like, what's wrong with this person? What's wrong with the Kraft family for hiring this person? But obviously he's pretty good, right? He went to the Super Bowl this year. Again, if I'm a writer for the New York Times, I'm saying this is the dumbest story I've literally ever heard. You asked a question about it, what your pet peeve is, and he said, I don't like it when people that aren't handicapped park at handicap spots because it hurts the handicap.
Well, to Vrabel's credit, that is a pretty unique pet peeve. I know most of us love that and support that 100%.
Nothing more than I like to see than a handicapped person really getting stuck to him. Like, yeah, you want to park here? Buddy, not so fast. I mean, it's just all dribble and crap, which whatever, but like you got to sit at that if you work at the New York Times. I'm sure I'm the only one who's fascinated with this, but it did strike me as, like, what did you do, Harry? Oh, I was, in the war room, outside the war room when they were planning to blow up the fishing boats they say have drugs on it. What'd you do? I asked Mike Vrabel about what his biggest pet peeve was.
How much did you make covering that war story? $40,000. How much did Rousini make? $800,000.
It's just not. It's not the money or the position. It's just like if I was at a radio conference and someone was like, and then I had on the singer from Nickelback, and I asked Chad Kroger what his biggest pet peeve was, and he said parking in handicap spots. I'd get up and leave, and I'd ask for my money back. And that's at a dumb radio conference full of total idiots with ponytails and guns and ties that have the American flag on them. Real libertarians.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. We've taken a left turn here. Right. Hang on.
I'm talking about the conference that I broadcast from where I met Isaac.
I know.
And it's funny to me because I was there and saw them. And there was about 8 guys with ponytails, guns, and American flag ties. Okay. That's all you need to know.
See, my pet peeve is people who don't love their country and don't show it off in the proper way.
It's not loving your country. It's wanting total anonymity and freedom to do whatever the hell you want.
So that stuck out to you. What stuck out to everybody else covering this story apparently is the first thing they write about in the Athletic story, because I think most people started reading it, realized there wasn't anything here. So, if we're just going to quote one thing and make this, our tweet or our post about the story, we're going to go with this one, where Diana Rousini, who had been pulled over by a police officer while texting and driving for the second time in a month, tried to get out of the ticket by telling the officer that the coach of the Buffalo Bills had been fired, and she was trying to break the news. The officer on move, telling her he was a fan of a different team. That's when she made him an offer. Maybe she could connect him right then and there to his favorite team's coach. Do you want to talk to the coach? You should talk to the coach. Miss Rousini said she told the officer. She recounted the incident a couple of weeks ago on the Stugatz and Company radio show.
Stugatz!
Podcast. So
he doesn't get along with Lebitard, but they won't say why.
Do you know why?
No, but I'm in the same camp. If you break up with your partner, you can't. You keep your mouth shut about it.
Okay.
It's good instinct there, Danny.
Speaking of things that would actually interest people.
Yeah, right. Like,
sure.
Way to go, guys. Yeah. Like, really keep that in your back pockets. You wouldn't want to get that out there, especially if you feel that you were wronged in any way. You best keep that to yourself. What was she pulled over for again?
Texting and driving, and it would have been the second time in a month.
Okay, here's what I would do. Just give me the ticket, please, or don't, and so I can leave. Why go through the rigmarole of trying to impress the officer? With that's essentially saying, do you know who I am?
Yes, because you can, or you think you can.
The only thing I'll give her
about getting a ticket for texting and driving.
She does.
Well,
obviously,
I don't know what the texting and driving fine is and what it could do, especially if you get 2 in a month.
Well, it's probably at least a little jail time.
Could it be? Is she in a state where you get points on your license? And
I don't know. I'm in the camp that if you're caught, if you're caught, you're caught. Like, I mean, and if you can't get out of it, like if they go back to their car and come back and they're going to give you a ticket, they're going to give you a ticket.
No,
if they come back and they go Freddie T,
you give up so easy. I give up.
Well, I don't have to give up because oftentimes when I'm pulled over, they'll come up and they'll go, "Oh, Freddie T," and then they'll hand me my stuff back.
You know,
and go, like, why'd you do that? And I'll go, I'm a silly goose.
When I get pulled over, I don't, because I just gun it. I go
and start for a chase. I watch the body cam cameras. That always works out. No, when I get
did
pulled
that
over
twice in a month.
When I get pulled over, I put my hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. The officer comes up to the car. I put my left hand up. I roll down the window. I put my hands back on the wheel. I said, would you like to see my license and registration? It says, yes. I said, okay, my license is in my wallet and the registration is in the glove box. They say, okay. I reach back. I get my license handed to them, and then I go into the glove box. Why do I do those things, Hardy?
To show respect for the safety of the officer at the stop.
The officer's the most vulnerable when they pull a car over because they don't know what's going on in the car. They don't know if you're armed. I'm giving everyone a public service. So you are to keep your hands.
Yeah, we all know this.
John, did you know this?
No, I did not, Fred.
Thank you, Jonathan. So you kept you keep your hands on the wheel.
Keep your hands on the wheel.
You keep your hands where they can see them.
Yeah.
And just that gesture shows that you have respect for the officer, and if it's a minor infraction, like
maybe score some
driving,
points. Yeah,
it's not scoring points. It's about telling the officer that you respect the dangers of their job and that you come in peace.
So Rousini FaceTimed the coach. She says, this is quoting her, head coach is in the office. He said, "Hey, what's up?" I go, "I just got pulled over, and I just want you to meet my friend, Officer Joe." The coach helped her get out of the ticket by telling the officer, "You should let her go. She's a good citizen."
And that happened a million times.
The podcast host howled with laughter. I wish I had that kind of access.
Yeah, it happened for sure. There's no doubt about it. She got pulled over. She said to the cop, "What team you like?" And he went, "Oh, hey, middle-aged lady, I like the such and such a team." And she said, "I'm going to get my phone and call him." And he went, "Sweet." And then the coach answered the phone because, after all, you're Diana Rousini and you're banging Vrabel, so everyone wants to answer your calls. And so you answer the phone, and then you show it to the guy. It happened just like that. That's a fantastic story. It has me howling with laughter. Not they're using it as a journalistic breach because of you abusing her access to the coaches.
Yes,
I'd say it's a journalistic breach in that it's complete and utter horse manure. I don't believe that story happened in the least.
We should track down Officer Joe.
Do you know the amount of things that have to happen for that story to be true? Like, what cop do you know that is going to be like, "Oh, hey, hi, I'm texting head coaches. That's awesome. Let's have a conversation about it."
I just wonder why any editor who looked at this for 5 seconds,
because they had to write it.
Well, here's the thing:
someone was given the assignment to write this, and it needed to be.
The question is why now? Because it is long and it is boring and it doesn't really have a lot of new stuff.
Filled up a segment.
Well, it did for us, but the Athletic is finishing up its investigation into Rousini and all of her stuff. You have to figure they released this because they're going to have a decision or a reveal on the investigation soon.
Well, there's no
I don't know what this proves one way or another.
It proves nothing. There's nothing in it except that she sucks at conferences and she made up a story about getting pulled over.
And she gets paid $800,000.
Right.
She got paid $800,000.
Which was actually less than Nick and I thought she made.
Yeah.
They were saying that she made millions.
Yeah.
And they, I 800,000. But again, they fly her around the world to talk at conferences all the time because she's got so much to say. What are you looking at?
I'm looking to see if anything else was reported about that Officer Joe, but I don't see anything.
Okay.
Because I find it, to me, it's not all that unbelievable.
Okay.
I think that just based on what we've learned about Diana Rousini, this is something she might try and do.
I don't doubt she tried to do it. But do you think that the story is told in a way that if there was a body cam video of it, it happened exactly in that fashion? let's go through the amount of things that would have to happen for that story to be true. In the order of everything would have had to hit.
Do you think Tiger was really on the phone with the president when he got in his accident?
No, I don't. I also question the judgment of not just taking the arrest when you've spilled your car into a front lawn at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. You put it on its side. Eat the DUI at that point. All right? You got a problem. It's time.
Okay, I didn't find anything about Officer Joe, but I did find something on the Joe Rogan Experience where he had a guest on who said a NYC police officer analyzed the face of the Sphinx and apparently found something. So let me get into this.
Well, you know how many people listen to that guy who analyzed the face of the Sphinx? Millions and millions and millions of people.
They're not,
which is accurately reported too.
They're not the same ethnicity of the
Right.
I see what's going on here.
Yeah. People are listening to a 2-hour interview of that. Exactly. That's exactly. Millions and millions and millions of people.
Who does the face of the Sphinx truly represent? Well, Joe Rogan got into it.
Right. And not only would they know, the audience would really care. Joe Schmo America is going to spend 2 hours listening to that. Exactly. Millions of people. All right. Very good. We'll be back in just a moment.
More.
Email bit.
I can tell you right now that the email bit is brought to you by Jeffrey Glassman, and I can even tell you the phone number, 617.
You got it wrong.
777-7777.
You got it wrong. It is Jeffrey Glassman. I'm sorry, I was urinating.
617.
Hardy and I started having a conversation. The email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
Great theory here. Morning, fellers. Regarding your absence in the lobby yesterday morning when John and Dennis were supposed to meet you down there to drive over to the golf tournament, and John ended up leaving. He said, John abandoned his religion. Did you really think he would hesitate to flee the nest without you? So much for no man left behind. Like a brood parasite, John probably silenced your alarm with the goal of overtaking your position as host of the show. Watch out for that cuckoo. Speaking of cuckoos, how were the corner couches in the hotel?
Were there chairs set up appropriately in your hotel room?
My room was big.
Yes,
yeah, my room was big.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice, a very nice room.
I do like if you have a bigger room and there is a chair, if you're going to be staying for longer than a night, because you can be a cuckold. No, because it gives you somewhere to sit to watch TV. That's not the bed. I don't like laying in bed.
Your TV is swiveled to point at the bed or at the couch?
I don't know if I turned the TV on.
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
The answer to your question is yes.
Yeah.
Mine did.
Yeah.
Oh.
I sat on the couch and watched a little World Cup before I went to sleep.
Oh, you had a couch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I had a couch or not.
When I got there, I watched a little Andy Griffith.
Nice.
And then later that night, I logged into my Apple TV and watched a Werner Herzog documentary on meteorites.
The meteorite is something that man will never understand.
Like, what will put me to sleep? This will. The meteorite is organic in a way that can only be examined under 3,000 time magnification.
They have a trip where you can go away with him. They do. And like he takes you somewhere very remote and leads talks.
Yeah, I would like just to view footage of it. I don't want to go on it.
Here we are. Time to face the reality of your death.
Yeah.
Mike O'Brien is a comedian.
Nice.
Mike, go ahead.
Hello, friends. I was just wondering when you're going to make an AI song about Hardy's love of Dylan Dreyer to like a Nickelback song and everyone laugh at it. I think it'd be a great idea. You should do it.
Only
and
if
also,
it doesn't even have a hint of humor. That's what I'm looking for.
It was not funny at all.
Or I don't even know if it was intended to. It's just more anthemic than anything else.
Would it be irrationally angry?
Yeah.
When every
really
line makes
fired up
sense.
About your love of Dylan Dreyer and the Today Show. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
And also, this Friday, I'll be at Elks Lodge 61 in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'll be at the Comedy Studio.
So things
in
are going
Hartford
well.
Square. Why are you guys laughing? I don't
No, things are
understand why
going
you're
well.
laughing.
Listen,
Things are going pretty well for me.
You're like the Fugazi of comedy.
Real quick, did you get banned from any more stand-ups on WCVB?
Just Channel 5. I'm only banned from Channel 5. I was just on NBC 10 yesterday talking about the 3 a.m. Last call, which is outrageous. We don't need to be up that late, folks. It's just, geez Louise, it's just out of control. These late-night drinking.
Well, either way, it affects us so much.
But what did the assignment editor tell everybody? It's like, you guys keep getting this same guy, don't get him anymore?
I was told by multiple sources close to Mike O'Brien have confirmed that there was a company-wide email at WCVB Channel 5 with my picture, multiple pictures, commenting on the amount of different hats I've worn and different ones, saying I am not to be on the air on Channel 5 anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
That's great.
That's crazy. All right. So, well,
And it
Mike-
was great meeting you at the Red Sox game, Fred. I'm sorry
yeah.
we didn't get to talk more.
Oh, yeah. It was good meeting you. Thank you. All right, there you go, Mike. Phil says, I took my dad to see Train, a Hall & Oates show about 10 years ago at the Xfinity Center because he loves Train, I know. And I'm a big Hall & Oates fan. You know, it's interesting. I reconnected with a musician friend from the past, and apparently he's the guitar player for Train now.
Oh.
In some capacity. The lead singer of Train and Daryl Hall must have referenced being from Philly or Philly Soul about 100 times. It was pretty funny because I almost never hear the term referenced by anyone except for them. Yeah, that's the only reason I think of them with Philly Soul is that to me they're just like some some kind of white mashed potato sandwich on mayo with white bread, and to hear Philly Soul, you think of like Motown or something.
Doesn't Huey Lewis say the same thing? Like all his influences were. I don't know where he's from, but
well, like the whitening of black music is old as time. But so I don't doubt that Huey Lewis has referenced himself, but that would be like, I don't know, like Pat Boone saying that he was part of the Motown scene. Almost like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Philly Soul is like Luther Vandross, right? Who's the one that's from Philadelphia? Let's really get in the weeds. I think it's Luther Vandross is the guy from Philadelphia, but I don't know. Forget it. It's not a big deal.
Question for Hardy. I'm having construction work done at my house. I'd really like to make friends with the people coming here. Putting in mini splits, I was able to have a great talk with the crew chief about ice fishing and some watershed sampling work that we do. This is from William, who is with the Department of Earth, Environment, and Physics at Worcester State University. He said, then I had a great conversation with the excavator guy doing the trench for the foundation. Today, the concrete people are here for the foundation, but I'm having trouble thinking of a way to approach and converse with them. Any help would be appreciated. Well, you make them sandwiches, number one.
Sure.
Or you, at the very least, you get a variety pack from Subway or Jersey Mike or something, and that kind of breaks the ice right there. But you feed them. You feed them and you give them an assortment of beverages.
And they'll eat the food.
Oh, yeah.
I found with landscaping companies working on people's houses, when I walk by with my dog, there's often a fond nod. As if, you know, like they're like, yeah, look at that dog. It's a real piece of garbage. That guy must be all right.
Like it.
Yeah, like that guy must be all right if he's walking that piece of crap around. Seriously, that's what I really truly believe they think, is that my dog is so repulsive. There's a picture of my dog. It's my whatever avatar for wherever you call it from my Instagram page. And I think people go like, that dog obviously was not paid for. Someone paid him to take that dog.
That did not cost you $4,000 at a breeder in Connecticut.
Oh, no, that dog is not bred of any way, in any way, shape, or form. The dog is just a bunch of it's a Frankenstein's monster almost.
I was going to say, I wanted to say it's not a flattering picture of the dog, but I've seen the dog, and actually that's real accurate.
They put Pitbull when I take him in to the vet, and there's no doubt that he's got Pitbull in him.
Sure.
But I don't think he's like a full-on Pitbull. No. Someone's like, he's a Boston Terrier, and I'm like, yeah.
There's a pit mix.
Yeah. He's not a big fella, but dumb.
How are we to believe every story Fred tells when he dismisses everyone else's story? Yet he listens to autobiographies. Fascinating. That is from Sarah from Everett.
Oh.
Yeah. She finds me fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I'm listening to a Miles Davis biography, Miles, where he kind of admits to beating women, but
I don't believe that.
Well,
either.
he admits to beating women, but it's not that big a deal.
Oh,
you know, because he was pissed.
Oh, goodness.
But
because he was upset.
Sure.
It was
upset.
It was a very controversial book when it came out. It came out in 1989, and I had it when I was a kid. I just never read it because I remember such a fuss being made about it. Not like I cared at all about Miles Davis or listened to jazz, but there was such a fuss about the book that, like, when I was a teenager, I actually bought it, but I never sat down and read it. But there's stuff that's so like, you know, when you're listening to biography, you'll hear stories, and if they're interesting, you'll kind of research them. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in that. There's rumors that he's bisexual, that he died of AIDS. Like, there's like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, when I listen to biography, an autobiography, it's you got to take everything with a grain of salt. We've been over that a million times.
Do you remember when
Are my stories true the way I tell them? Most likely no. Like we've the stories you've told a million times. We've been over this.
The memory,
It's your memory's flawed, but also you've honed a story to be based on people's reactions to it. You've honed it into like a tight story, and you know. Yeah, there's going to be details that are wrong. In spirit, it is the truth.
Sure.
But I mean, no, not every detail is probably true.
Not Gary Tangway said, wait a second, there was a Suarez pitching in the Rockies game last night?
Oh.
Reminds me of the day I conceived my first book, The Arm in the Fall. Let's just say it was voluptuous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that.
That's what I was going for. Yeah, it just came to me in a dream. I wish you guys could have been back to Marathon Monday. No, thank you. Dan Roach was on with Matt McCarthy. I think on Marathon Monday, Cam, the kid from the Yankees, Cam was starting Schlittler for the Yankees that day, and you have Dan so fit to be tied and nervous that he constantly referred to him as Cam Flitler. So you couldn't make a cut of him swearing.
Oh, he was so afraid of screwing up.
Yeah.
Schlittler.
Right, because if he would screw up the name, obviously he would be in deep yogurt.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to even trip over anything if it sounds remotely like a swear.
No, especially that swear word is the worst one.
And even if something did happen to you, you should really feel bad about yourself because it's your fault for being human and mispronouncing something.
What did he text us all about here in the last few days? And all I replied was, congrats on your recent crypto success.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. Happy Father's Day, probably.
It was.
Yeah, Bob Bronson texted me Happy Father's Day, too. It's nothing.
I don't know what to do with that when I get that from male friends of mine.
The only people that should say Happy Father's Day are your kids and perhaps if your wife.
Your immediate family, yeah, like my mom is, called to wish me a Happy Father's Day. That's nice. But beyond that.
No. I remember to call my father, unlike my mother, who I forgot to call on her birthday.
Oh.
Well, we've been over this.
Yeah.
Amends were made. Flowers were sent. However belated, they were enjoyed, I'm told. I'm sure there was still an air of disappointment in the air, but there's nothing I can do at this point but to try to correct my behavior in the future. All right. We will be back to end the show officially in just a moment. Here are the headlines. and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. Let's finish things. Hardy, what's going on?
Oh, so much. So much that we were unable to get to today. Including Michael Caine's voice has been recreated using AI in order to narrate a new 13-hour audiobook of The Odyssey.
That is
ahead of Kristen Nolan's movie.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it because I listen to all these audiobooks, and it varies. The quality of it obviously depends on a lot on who is reading it. Like this Miles Davis one, the guy's kind of imitating Miles Davis, and he's actually really good at it. Sometimes, like the Steven Tyler one was ridiculous. In fairness, that's a pretty hard thing to do, to go beep bop skittle out do like in a book while you're reading a book. But I knew it. I knew they were going to use AI for it, and it pisses me off. And now it pisses me off because I'm going to have to stop listening to books because I won't do it. I'm not listening to AI read it. It's inhuman, and I will go down with the ship.
I mean, it's inhuman for someone who has passed. Michael Caine is still alive. So he has just licensed this AI company to take old recordings of his, presumably old recordings of his voice, so that you can get, the 70-year-old version of Michael Caine who is now 93.
Yeah, if you're not able to do it, don't do it because of age. And if you can do it, you do it and ask for more money. Like if he's not capable of reading the Odyssey aloud in a way that would be pleasing to an audience, then don't do it. If you are, then demand to do it and demand to be paid. I can't imagine anyone who's 93 is in desperate need of money. And if they are, together enough to cash grab, have a little dignity at the end. Just a slice of it. And just you shouldn't do that, especially since I don't know what what he's thinking in '93. But if you have any recollection of what it was like to be like a young actor or someone who needed money, actually needed it, at 93, you need someone to use your voice to read the Odyssey. It probably wasn't even explained to him correctly. Yeah, it was probably because that's like if you were born in like 1880 and then all of a sudden like you live long enough and people are taking commercial flights to Hawaii, it's probably like, the hell's going on? You just can't even conceive of it. So, good.
Also, we earlier had a brief conversation with Lonnie Hawk Hawkins, a.k.a. Will Ferrell, about his ongoing litigation with the John Deere people after the tractor that he crashed back in 2008. He said his lawyer was Kim Kardashian, and we questioned whether or not she was an actual lawyer. Turns out it was 6 months ago that she announced that she had failed the California bar exam. How many years after embarking on her legal and law studies? How many years had she been studying, presumably, for the bar?
Oh, well, since there's no hard and fast definition of studying for the bar?
Yes.
She's 20 years.
I was going to say 25, but all right.
7 years after embarking on her law studies. Now, law school's 3 years, right?
All I know is that the term studying leaves a lot up for interpretation. That can be defined in a various ways. Like if you listen to Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast album, you are technically could say you were studying it.
Well, I'm not a lawyer yet, she said. I just play a very well-dressed one on TV. She's on TV as an actor? I don't know.
I think that's a joke for the phrase, I'm not a lawyer, but I'll play one on TV.
I'm still all in until I pass the bar. No shortcuts, no giving up, just more studying and even more determination.
If we're not the exact same age, she's a year younger than me. I believe that she's at the youngest 48. So you keep going and striving. You keep going for it.
Yeah, don't give up like Fred is likely to. Kim Kardashian is 45 years old.
Oh, well, wrong again, Fred. All right, let's get out of here exactly on time.
Yeah.
And that way everyone is satisfied and we can do no wrong. So that will do it for us. Everyone have a great day.
I thought we did plenty right yesterday.
Bye.